Channel 4. For isiZulu nesindebele will be Channel 2. For Afrikaans, it will be Channel 5. For Chichonga and Chivenda will be Channel 3. And then for sign language, it will be appearing in front of all the monitors that are standing around the wall. So you are welcome in this important stakeholder engagement meeting where we are going to be receiving a report from the Community Safety Department, where they will be presenting their annual report, financial year 2022-2023, and then they will be presenting their performance in terms of their second quarter performance. As I'm welcoming you today, we are all worried about crime in the province. And most of you will decide and ask a question, why did we choose to come to Soshanguve? But we all know that in recent times, Soshanguve has been on the headlines in terms of the level of crimes that we have seen and witnessed happening in the area. It started off with the rape of the learner, the killing and assassination of councillors around Soshanguve and Mawiga, or Mabupane, Winterfeld and Karankua. We also lost a patroller around here who was also killed. So generally there is a high number of incidences of crime happening around Soshanguve. Ironically, in Harisheba, in terms of crime statistics, or the top 30 police stations that contribute more in terms of crime, ya Soshanguve a itlhagelle le ya ko Winterfeld. Go tlhagella ya ko Brooklyn, go tlhagella ya ko Sunnyside, go tlhagella ya ko Pretoria Central. But we all know for our lived experience, what we experience every day as citizens, and Baduli Bamo Soshanguve. We know we are not pretty much safe and we don't feel safe. As a committee, we have been discussing and engaging with our worry as a context about extraordinary measures that needs to be taken to resolve the issue of crime. And extraordinary measures might be required to deal and slow down crime. Part of the discussion is about regulating the trade of alcohol or trading in alcohol. It is also about movements of people around the township and our informal settlements. It's also about the deployment of the soldiers and the police in and around our streets to make sure that there's increased visibility of law enforcement. We are worried as a committee again that there has been a serious delay in many interventions that the department with the Premier have announced at the beginning of the year in the State of the Province address. The delay of gazetting the crime prevention wardens is a big problem. We welcome, and I think all of us, we were there at Giant Stadium welcoming their pass-out parade, but we have since not seen much progress. Maybe part of your engagement or in your own experience, you will tell us today about your own experiences, about the impact that they are making in your township or in the informal settlements. But it is an intervention that we support and that we welcome and that we still need. It needs to be improved going forward. There's also pretty much a big delay in the establishment of the Central Command Center, where integration of law enforcement should take place. We are quite worried because just besides the establishment of the command center, there's also a high level of not cooperating amongst law enforcement agencies. So we find patrollers doing their own thing, we find CPF doing their own thing, we find neighborhood watches doing their own thing. So there's not much integration that we are seeing. And it's something that we need to be worried about, that the central command center that has been spoken about, the delay is making us look like we are not very much clear on what we do. And maybe part of it, it will help us to clear and assign specific roles of different levels of law enforcement. You know, we'd know what patrollers will be doing, school patrollers will be doing, we'll know what crime prevention wardens will be doing. We don't want to see like what we have witnessed in other police stations where crime prevention wardens are actually used for administrative purposes in police stations. They sign affidavits and so on and so on. We want to see them on the ground. We want to see them visibly on the ground patrolling the streets. I have spoken about the issue of alcohol. Most of the crimes, 10 categories of crimes that we deal with in our space are all influenced, are associated with alcohol usage or consumption. Whether you talk about assault, sexual offenses, you talk about murder, you talk about attempted murder, these are the crimes that are associated specifically with alcohol or with establishments that sell alcohol, taverns, restaurants, particularly even in areas like Brooklyn, where Brooklyn, you know that it is an area where university students in UP study and they entertain themselves. So feel free to welcome, feel free to be part of the engagement. We are here to listen to your issues as it relates to crime fighting and crime prevention. But we must all know that police can't do everything for us. We must be responsible as citizens to keep our country, our townships, our informal settlements safe. So we should cooperate and work together with law enforcement. That's why I'm insisting, and I was emphasizing the point on cooperation between everyone that we need. And as I conclude my opening remarks, it's important that we still have to focus on road fatalities. You know, we don't take heed to it anymore because we are focusing on crime. But as a committee, it is part of our oversight that we need to zoom into. This morning, a group of learners were involved in a motor vehicle accident in Soweto. And close to 15 learners were involved. And also, if you look at road fatalities, it also comes down to also one thing, besides the vehicles being unroadworthy, but also in many ways, alcohol is a major driver of it. Feel free, you are all welcome. As I've introduced myself, I'm Bandile Masuku, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee. I'm with members of the Portfolio Committee with me, who I'm going to give an opportunity to introduce themselves, and then we will flight the agenda so that everybody knows what we are doing and how we are going to be doing it. We further welcome the HOD, Mam Sisulu. The MEC is she's on her way, Me Mazibugo. She will be joining us. She had a prior engagement in the morning. I see there are members of the South African Police Service. I will give them an opportunity to also introduce themselves so that we know who's here, but I've seen them before, their faces, so I know them in many aspects. And then after that, we'll hand over to the department, and then we'll then engage with yourselves after the department has given the report. But you are all welcome. I'll start with on my right.
Sanbonani, Libitso la ka ke Sizakele Nkosi Malobane. I'm the member of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Igama lami uSochayile wakaKhanyile, nami ngiyimember ye-committee. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Kobus Hofman and I'm a member of this committee.
Morning, my name is Chryson Bosch and I'm also a member of the Community Safety Oversight Committee.
Thank you. I hope you heard all of them. And as I've said, the interpreting services is available, so the headphones and handsets are available behind there. And I've indicated the channels and the languages that you can get the language you want interpretation on. HOD, let me give the SAPS and then you'll introduce your team, then you'll start with the presentation. Members of the SAPS, you can introduce yourself. Can we have a mic here?
Good morning, Chairperson. I'm Brigadier Tine, Deputy District Commissioner of Tshwane. With me, I'm having Brigadier Dladla, who's the Station Commander of Soshanguve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we then hand over to the HOD?
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable members. My name is Nontsikelelo Sisulu, Kalidumedisa Kaufela, Kiritamali CFO, Kim Du Malope, Le Ospuleng, responsible for strategic management, and Taxita Maestri, responsible for policy and research, and at the head of corporate services, Ntombi Manamela, and we have the chief of Gauteng Traffic Police, Chief Tami Maisela, with us as well, Chairperson. Thank you very much, honorable members.
Okay, thank you. I hope we'll sort out the sound, and I hope everybody is audible. Can you all hear? So the sound is not good enough. Let's try to sort out the sound because there's also an echo which will make it difficult for us to hear. HOD, I'll hand over to you to start the presentation. I'm hoping that you can be able to do both presentations for the next hour. The two presentations combined. Hello. Ke kopare re mameleng HOD a presenta the report ya bona ya department in terms of performance, in terms of crime prevention, crime fighting, and also reduction of road fatalities. Kopare mo fe tsebe simnike indlebe sizokhona uku-engage ne report njoba ikhona and welcome everybody okhona la njoba bengishilo ama CPWs ethu ama patrollers akhona nama NGOs. Besicela sibe ne-order, besicela simamele nani. Can the distribution of handset ingakhosi problem? HOD.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable members. Good morning again. We are presenting the annual report for the financial year 2022-2023.
Sorry, HOD. Can we get Can we get somebody who will sort out the sound system? Can we get somebody to sort out the sound system? And as we acknowledge Ntate Chafta Mahlangu, who's here representing the council. Can you sort out the sound system so that everybody can hear? HOD, can you try?
Thank you, Chairperson. Hoping that it's better. We are reporting on the financial year performance for 2022 and 2023. We have financial performance for the department. Our overall spending was 97.8% for Program 1, which is administration. The Provincial Secretariat, responsible for oversight over the police, our spending was 89.4%. Traffic management spent 83.2%. In terms of non-financial performance, the department achieved a 94%, which is 46 out of 49 targets that were planned for the year under review. And administratively, we had 8 out of 11, which is the 73%. Provincial Secretariat achieved all their targets in the year under review, and so did traffic management. They achieved all their targets. In terms of the audit outcomes, Chair, the department received an Honorable Chairperson, the department received an unqualified audit with findings on compliance opinion. The department maintained the quality of the annual financial statements that were submitted for audit, as there were no material misstatements identified during that audit process. There were also no material findings reported under predetermined objectives, which is an improvement from the year before. In terms of the table, it represents the presentation just made, Chair, in terms of the comparison on the targets achieved and not achieved, and the percentage there too. This Chair, Honorable Chairperson, is a graphic representation of the same, and I will then move on to the targets that we did not achieve in the year. We had 100% of the invoices that were paid within 30 days, which was what we were supposed to do. We fell short by 0.25. Payment was processed late due to system challenges within the provincial treasury. In terms of irregular expenditure, Chair, we have no irregular expenditure in the year under review. The irregular expenditure that is represented here is from years prior, dating back to 2012. We managed to get 41% of the irregular expenditures that were incurred from the previous year. 9% of those were able to be processed. We were continuing to work with Treasury, the AG, and the Office of the Premier to ensure that we can get condonation of the prior irregular expenditure. In terms of the appointment of persons with disability, we had 2.3% representation of persons with disabilities. We fell short by 1.7%. Additional positions on the staff establishment, Honorable Chairperson, were put in place, and this resulted in a higher number of persons with disabilities that we needed to recruit and that needed to then occupy the said positions. The department has, however, embarked on targeted recruitment, which included the use of employment agencies, referrals, as well as headhunting of persons with disabilities. Our strategies to overcome our underperformance, Honorable Chairperson, is to ensure that our invoices are paid within 30 days. We have put in place effective controls and systems that ensure that all managers are aware and end users of the services that they have signed up for and that they have received. We are currently, Chair, as we stand in this financial year, at 100% achievement of our 30% payment. Our reduction in regular expenditure, as indicated, Honorable Chairperson, the department will escalate investigations where there are backlogs on these irregular expenditures. Pardon the sound there. And prospects of the cases are beyond the department control. The submissions of condonation will be done in good time. In terms of the representation of persons with disabilities, Chair, we are continuing and also now working with the Office of the Premier to ensure that we use the database that they have, as well as the Department of Treasury, so that we can further ensure that the internal change management on disability disclosure sessions are also being held so that those who do have disabilities within the department are able to disclose and guidelines are provided there too. We have achieved, Chair, there are key achievements, Honorable Chairperson, on the departmental outcomes. These include the improved oversight over law enforcement agencies. We have been able to conduct announced and unannounced visits to police stations, and those are 144 police stations, and we've done all of them. We've monitored the implementation of the IPED recommendations by SAPS. We've also monitored compliance on the Domestic Violence Act during our announced and unannounced visit to SAPS policing precincts. We've also procured and handed over 50 patrol vehicles, Honorable Chairperson, to the SAPS to increase police visibility over and above the previous financial year's 100 BMWs that we had given to SAPS for highway patrol. We've procured and handed over 4 mobile police stations in the past financial year, Chairperson, and now at this point we're standing at 12 of these mobile police stations that have been handed over to South African Police Service. In terms of our efforts, Honorable Chairperson, to strengthen social movement against crime, we've assessed the functionality of community police forums, all 144 of them. We've also assessed the functionality of 11 community safety forums, which we have resuscitated. We've assessed, Honorable Chairperson, 110 community patroller teams in line with the existing standards. We've also implemented, Chairperson, 550 social crime prevention and conducted 470 school safety interventions in the previous year. Continuing, Honorable Chairperson, with the strengthening of social movement against crime, we have a comprehensive multidisciplinary and integrated support to victims of crime and vulnerable groups. In this regard, we've analyzed 1,800 crime dockets to ensure that the victims of crime receive justice. We have, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, a 50% conviction rate of crimes within Gauteng province. So our crime docket analysis is to ensure that we can get more convictions even in cases that are said to have been closed undetected. We've also monitored 10 court watching briefs so that we are aware of how the courts are proceeding and that there is justice for victims of gender-based violence. We've also tracked 1,000 gender-based violence criminal cases within the criminal justice system, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members. We've also provided psychosocial support to victims of gender-based violence, as well as assessment of 144 victim-friendly rooms which are found at police stations within the Gauteng province. In addition, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, we've rolled out 38 green doors across all corridors of the province. These green doors, we try to ensure that there are those that are where police stations are 5 kilometers or more away from the community. We then establish the green doors for easy access for persons affected by gender-based violence. A total of 193,117 households were reached through the household visits at a ward level, and this was done through our gender-based violence brigaders and our outreach and awareness program. We have also a total, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, of 1,769 of our gender-based violence and femicide matters identified within households, which we have been able to escalate to various support structures, including Ikale Temba, which focuses on psychosocial intervention and also in-house care for victims of gender-based violence who have case numbers. We have also further, Chairperson and Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, institutionalized the road safety culture, and this we've done through conducting 9,545 reckless and negligent driving operations. We've also conducted 16,715 speed operations, and we've also conducted stop and check, which are 1,296,617,000 vehicles that have been stopped and checked. We've also conducted, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, 4,652 crime prevention operations in collaboration with other law enforcement agencies so that we ensure that we multiply our forces on the ground. We've conducted 6,330 public passenger transport operations for the safety of the general public, We've also conducted 598 law enforcement operations targeting learner transport so that our learners are able to get to and from school safely. And we've conducted 1,401 road safety awareness interventions because accidents are caused by human beings and the error caused by humans, so road safety awareness becomes very important. We've also conducted road safety education programs at 1,008 schools, and we further road safety councils were re-established in all corridors, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members. We participated in the Trans-Kalahari Corridor Secretariat Joint Operations, which includes South Africa, Namibia, and Botswana. Chairperson, before it became Operation Shayela, we as Gauteng had Operation Ukai Molao, and the department took part in several high-density operations, which were facilitated by the South African Police, and this was through the commissioners. We also did these operations where they were attended by stakeholders, including the private sector. We also had operations that focus mainly on crime-related issues, drunken driving cases, undocumented foreign nationals, as well as other related crimes. These operations, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, they took place at various areas within the province. Following these operations, several successes were achieved, ranging from the arrest of illegal immigrants as well as issuing of summons. When we move on, Honorable Chairperson, to non-financial performance in our performance program 1, as indicated, Chair, we were able to achieve our targets at a 73%, and those that were not achieved were related to persons with disability as well as the 100-day payments. In terms of the fourth quarterly report on implementation of integrity management plans, those were all done. Chair, we also have 12 reports on budget, expenditure, and revenue, and this was done in accordance to Section 44, subsection C of the Public Financial Management Act. In Program 1, we had 3 interim financial statements that were prepared and submitted in accordance with Section 41B and C of the Public Financial Management Act, and we did also have 1 annual financial statement prepared and submitted according to the Section 41, subsection B and C of the Public Financial Management Act as well. This brought us to the 99.75% of invoices paid within 30 days, and then the irregular expenditure has explained, Chairperson, as well as what we could then on this slide emphasize, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, is that 49% was spent for the HDI suppliers, Black 90%, women 80%, youth 2%, and in the year that was, we were not able to procure from persons with disabilities, but in terms of our township spend, we spend 92% of the budget in the township. 50% representation of women at senior management level was achieved, and 2.3% of persons with disability. When we move on to Program 2, Honorable Chairperson, all the targets in Program 2 were achieved. The research reports, the knowledge sharing, the publications that were produced, the biannual reports were compiled, Honorable Chairperson, on law enforcement agencies' performance. All our quarterly reports for IPID and the biannual monthly reports were also compiled for compliance, as well as the 4 quarterly reports on management of service delivery complaints that were received against CPFs during the course of the year. We also compiled our reports on police stations monitored using the National Monitoring Tool from Civilian Secretariat per year, and we also did our special project implementation where SAPS 13 reports were done. 50 policing vehicles as indicated, Chair, and 4 mobile police stations, 1,810, as well as 1,000 gender-based violence cases were reported as indicated in the summary. Further to this, Chairperson, so one does not repeat, I would then like to focus on the 4 interventions that were conducted to support gender-based violence structures. This was done by our Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Coordination Unit. We also had 4 quarterly reports compiled for the implementation of Gauteng Gender-Based Violence Strategic Plan, which has been modeled after the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence, which was approved by Cabinet. And Chairperson, 110 of the patroller teams assessed were in line with existing standards. Moving on to the last program, which is program 3, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members. They achieved all their targets, some of which one has alluded to. I would like to focus, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, on the 2,936 pedestrian operations conducted. We have the highest number of fatalities each year, which are from pedestrians, especially during the festive season, but we do have operations that we conduct regarding pedestrians on our roads. I'd also like to then focus, Honorable Chairperson, on the 311,031 vehicles that were weighed that go through our roads, as well as the other 2 road safety awareness in schools that one has already touched on. In terms of our financial performance, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, administratively, we were able to say that the 4.3 million that was underspent in Program 1 was related to the laptops that we procured, and the tender was finalized at the end of the financial year. The money was rolled over, and we have since taken delivery of the new laptops. Under Provincial Secretariat, the 28.2 million, the underspending was committed and therefore was rolled over to the department. In traffic management, the budget of 83.2 was spent. The budget is mainly attributed to challenges in the tender processes, and that amount has been able to be spent as the year has gone by. Chairperson, in terms of a breakdown for Program 2, we indicate where the money, the 28.2 million underspending has gone and how it has been used. And I'm glad to indicate, Chairperson, that the amounts that are reflected have since been allocated and used in this financial year. In terms of Program 3, Chairperson and Honorable Members, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, pardon me, 19.8 million on compensation of employees, Honorable Chairperson, to the officials seconded to other organs of state. We have officials seconded to the Office of the Premier, others are seconded to SANRAL, other traffic officers are seconded to the Department of Transport, and each of these entities need to repay the department as we then pay the salaries of the said officers. 11.8 million specifically allocated, Chairperson, to the command center that we note in your opening remarks, Honorable Chairperson, that it is now underway. A building has been found and work has begun. The first phase is now done, and we are working very closely with the Department of Infrastructure Development, and the service provider has been appointed, and work on the command center is underway. The 10 million Chairperson that was committed through the lease contract of 2 helicopters, the contract was signed at the end of March. We have since realized the expenditure of this to a much higher amount than what Treasury had originally allocated to us. So this has also, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, been realized, and the 1.9 million related to tools of trade for the officials seconded to Department of Transport will and was surrendered to the Revenue Fund. As one comes to the end on the issues of finance on each of the programs, Chairperson, I'd like to highlight that the 27.5 million will be reallocated.
Sorry, can we all try and listen? I know it's very hot. If you can't bear the heat, Khanyani, you can and come back. But let's allow people who are inside to listen to the report, and let's finish. You are all going to get a chance to speak. You can't speak now, Baba. The agenda doesn't say you can speak. You know, so let's allow the program to move. You'll get an opportunity to say what you want to indicate. So can we just try and listen to one another so that we can just get this engagement over and done with, and all of us remamelane hutlo rereng. I know all of us are in economy, so we are going to suffer from the heat. So if you can't bear it a bit, and still come back, but don't disturb the meeting. HOD, you can continue.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, for the intervention. 27.5 million for e-pennies was allocated. It went to a tender process. In our realignment as Gauteng Provincial Government, it became clear that eGov was the one who had been allocated this task, and that money we have since written to Treasury to have that reallocated to eGov. 4 million was allocated for the procurement of drones. 3 of the drones were procured through RFQs, and the rest of the drones are being procured this financial year. And then the 4.3 million that was allocated for the training of drone pilots commenced this financial year, and the drone pilot training is coming to an end for the first cohort. We have 90 drone pilots that we have to train. 73.9 million was not spent due to partial delivery of motor vehicles. We were able to then pay for the vehicles that were delivered in this financial year. Our Departmental Capital Investment, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, in terms of our infrastructure projects, which have been completed in the current year, and the progress in comparison to what was planned at the beginning of the year is as follows. Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, there were 22 infrastructure projects that have been implemented out of 24 that were planned. We also had progress that was made on the maintenance of infrastructure. The department has made some progress in terms of improving occupational health and safety compliance to our facilities through undertaking statutory maintenance and preventative measures for maintenance. However, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, we still need to do other environmental assessments and ensure that the employees are working in a conducive work environment. Major maintenance projects that have been undertaken during the period under review have been the supply and installation of maintenance and commissioning of a fully integrated security management system, as well as a new industry laundry machine. This is for Ikale Temba, where we have about 100 women and children who are victims of gender-based violence. Of course, we also had the replacement and installation of new galvanized water pipes. Ikale Temba is in need of quite a bit of repair, and because it does have humans in there, we need to ensure that we spend some money to have a conducive living environment. Additional capital investments, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, was the backlog for maintenance had increased because of the inability to adhere to the maintenance schedule, and now we are on track with the maintenance plan. The department was also not appropriated funds for infrastructure and maintenance. We apply for them, but we don't necessarily get funded, and we then have to rely on funds from other programs. The department has also previously submitted its budget requirements, and we were able, through Provincial Treasury and the Department of Infrastructure. However, no funds were allocated, and we then had to, during adjustment periods, see how best we can manage with that. In terms of our departmental staffing, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, as I come to an end, is that at top management, this is the breakdown of our racial composition at various levels, as well as our male and female composition, our gender composition of the department. It gives us a total chairperson of 35 employees with disabilities, which we obviously need to increase chairperson. And then I wanted to maybe highlight at top management level that we have 3 African males and 2 African females. And then, of course, then at senior management, we have 11 males, 1 white male, and then we've got 9 African females, and then, of course, we've got colors, Indians, and 1 in each category. Chairperson highlighted on the screen are those that are in the professionally qualified, as well as the technically skilled, the semi-skilled, and the unskilled employees that we have in the department. I would like to take the opportunity to thank the Honorable Chairperson and the committee for the time.
Thank you, HOD, for the report and the presentation. I would want us to quickly do the short one on the second quarter performance, and then we'll be done, and then we'll take inputs from the stakeholders mainly, and also from the committee. Those who require the headsets, can they raise their hands so that they can be brought to them? It helps with translation And there are different channels that I've indicated that you can get in terms of translation. You know, like if you still haven't received the headset, can you raise your hand so that it's brought to you for the translation? Okay, there's only one there. Can we get the handsets as the HOD is proceeding for the second quarter performance? They will keep your hands up so that they bring the handsets to you. Can we get the headsets? Okay, they are still organizing them to try to bring them. Can we just allow the report, the last presentation to be done, and then you will then engage with it? Can I hand over to you, HOD?
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you very much. This is the Department of Community Safety Quarter 2 report for the financial year 2022-2023. The executive summary, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable members, is that the department's overall percentage spent against the annual budget as at the end of quarter 2 was 36%.
Can we try to keep silent, please? Ke kopa ka tswetswe, ke a kgopela hore re mamelane. You can proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, the department spent 73% of its projected quarter 2 budget. 100% of invoices were paid within 30 days. And in terms of non-financial performance, Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, we spent 93%.
Sorry, what is the problem now? We did indicate if you feel the heat is too much, you can step aside and come back. But kopa everybody to listen if you are inside the wall so that we can finish quickly and we all listen to one another. Please, there's no need for us to make noise. Just raise your hand if you need a headset, they will bring it to you. But please, let us not make noise. You can proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The department has achieved 92%, which is 49 out of 53 of the targets planned for the quarter under review. Administration has achieved 83%. 100% of the targets in the Provincial Secretariat have been achieved, and in traffic management, 89% of the targets have been achieved. Our crime prevention wardens, the third cohort, honorable members and honorable chairperson, we have appointed 2,136 of targeted communities are colored, Indians and whites in the third cohort. To date, we have 7,117 crime prevention wardens that have been appointed by the department. The crime prevention wardens are deployed at various police stations and they conduct crime prevention operations in support of other law enforcement agencies. They do not work alone. We have been able to lease 2 helicopters. We have a target of 3. We'll look at our budget spent to see whether we'll continue with the 3 or not. The 2 helicopters have been leased and are being deployed on a daily basis. To date, a total of 238 vehicles have been procured and are deployed across the province for the fight against crime and lawlessness, 80 in the previous financial year and 158 in this financial year. The drones, 3 drones were procured. Procurement processes for an additional 30 drones is underway based on the budget allocation. 11 officials have successfully completed. As at Tuesday, we had an additional 13 that completed. The training for the other officials is underway, including considerations of participating in other departments' existing contracts. So instead of, we're not relying only on going on tender, but rather finding contracts that exist within government that we can participate in for the acquisition of the 30 drones. In terms of the Provincial Integrated Command Center, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, as at the end of Q2, government-owned building was acquired for the PICC. Design, including ICT infrastructure designs, are currently underway. Professional service provider has been appointed, and further engagements with stakeholders are ongoing. We have a 24/7 anti-land invasion task team that was established and will assist in the fight against lawlessness. 250 of our crime prevention wardens were trained to be part of the anti-land invasion response team, and the crime prevention wardens, in conjunction with Gauteng Traffic Police, as well as the Metro Police departments and local municipalities, in support of the prevention of illegal land occupation. Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, in terms of our focus on crime prevention in townships, informal settlements, and hostel areas, we have 53,354 joint operations that we have conducted, and these operations included, amongst others, illegal mining, prevention of infrastructure vandalism, second-hand goods, stop and search, as well as compliance inspection. 122,923 households were visited.
Can we have order, please? Can we have order? Can we have order? Can people who want to leave the hall can leave peacefully, please? Don't disturb us inside. If we identify you making that, we are going to eject you from the meeting in front of everyone. Please, let's try to listen to one another, please. You can proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. We have a total, in terms of implementation of our Gauteng Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide, 122,923 households were visited across the province. We also have 4 development training programs for our brigaders. We had 115 court pickets by the end of the quarter. A total of 10 green doors were rolled out, and 312 against the target of 300 gender-based violence victim cases were tracked within the criminal justice system for the period under review, and 72 law enforcement officers were trained on gender-based violence victim empowerment and using accredited training. Chairperson, this is an indication of our achievement. We had 9 out of 11 that were achieved in Program 1. All the targets were achieved in Program 2, and then we had 2 targets that were not achieved in Program in the traffic management, which gave us a total of the 53 out of 44. Chairperson, this is a further representation in a tabular form. In terms of our comparison of financial spend versus performance, our graphic, the graph indicates in percentages, and I do hope that it is clearer for your good selves, how much we have spent against performance for each program. In administration, we have achieved 82 and spent 9, and 100% was achieved in terms of targets for Program 2, and 49% in terms of budget was spent. So the blue line is the targets on performance, while the orange line represents the budget on each of those targets. But the targets that have not been achieved, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, in the Office of the CFO, the indicators percentage procurement spent on persons with disabilities. The target was not achieved, however, our intervention is to ensure that we are able to find out what services persons with disabilities can offer, and use a database that will refer to the list for procurement that is both with a Department of the Provincial Treasury and working with the Office of the Premier as well, to work on the database that they have to ensure we can procure for persons with disabilities. In terms of the percentage representation of persons with disabilities in our positions, in Q2 we also had not achieved the target. We do, however, we have in place now that we're developing an SLA for the sector to assist with referring us to have suitable candidates from their various agencies. In terms of the number of officials trained as drone pilots, we are supposed to have a total of 90. We are currently at 23. which was the 11 from the previous financial year and the 13 that are completing by the end of November. In terms of the Integrated Provincial Command Center, this is work that is ongoing. We are now working in an integrated manner with multiple stakeholders. The Department of Infrastructure Development, e-Government, South African Police Service and Community Safety are part of the weekly team that is monitoring the progress on the implementation there too. In terms of the quarter, that would be quarter 2, Chair, because the next one then details the program on administration in terms of where we are, and risk management they have achieved, financial administration have achieved, and so has accounting. Supply chain has 1 target they haven't achieved, human resources has 1, as well as 2 overall. Chairperson, this is the detailed representation of the targets that were achieved during the course of the quarter, and just to indicate that the percentage procurement spend is at 2% against 7%, and percentage representation of persons on the positions that were supposed to be filled were at 2.6% instead of 5%. In the last financial year, we had 0% procurement from persons with disability. This year, by the second quarter, we had made it to 2%. We do, however, still need to improve on that. Honorable Chairperson, the next slides are on our targets that we achieved on the implementation of integrated management and on the monitoring of risk management. We also achieved our targets on the interim financial statements, as well as our targets on the invoices that were paid. We also were able to have a 50% reduction in irregular expenditure. This was not planned for the quarter 1 and quarter 2. We will then also report, Honorable Chairperson, that we were able to ensure that the approved annual budget, which is not planned for the quarters until the end of the financial year, so we would not be reporting on that. However, the 12 reports on budget expenditure and revenue in accordance with the PFMA, our 3 reports have been submitted. We then, Chair, have also already highlighted what we have not achieved. We had a 40% target for procurement from women. We achieved 50%. We had a 15% target for procurement from youth. We achieved 24%, and the 2% has been referred to for persons with disabilities. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, in terms of our representation of women at SMS, 50%, we're now at 55.2, which is a 5.2% increase from last year. And of course, with 5% representation and 2.6% for persons with disabilities has been already reported on. The 2,136 crime prevention wardens has already been reported on. We've exceeded our target in this regard. In our program 2, in the second quarter, they have achieved all their targets. The research and policy information, the monitoring evaluation, the safety promotion, as well as the community police relations were implemented and achieved accordingly. In this one, Honorable Chairperson, the one research report on the implementation on the strategic plan for gender-based violence and femicide, as well as 2 publications were produced. And in addition, we had the implementation plan based on the audit results that was developed, and we have submitted to the auditors already our progress in the implementation based on their finding. Our biannual reports compiled on law enforcement performance, collaboration with private security compliance. This is not planned for these particular quarters. However, we have been working with law enforcement, and today another meeting with security companies is underway. We have 3 reports that we were supposed to do for provincial joint operations, and those were done in quarter 1 and quarter 2. And in quarter 2, we also had a monitoring report on the South African Police Service recommendations that had come from IPID. Honorable Chairperson, we have one more slide on in quarter April for program 2. Again, all the biannual monitoring reports were compiled, and we also managed to report on the management of service delivery complaints that were received, and also on the national monitoring tool by the Civilian Secretariat at national level. Further to this, Chair, the last 2 targets on program 2 included the report on the functioning of the PICC based on set standards. We would then have 40 assessment conducted to victim-friendly rooms. My apologies, we still have the 450 crime dockets that were analyzed, and this is work that is ongoing within Provincial Secretariat. And then we have 3 court watching briefs and 312 gender-based violence and femicide incidents that were reported on. We've had 171 social crime prevention programs that were implemented, 139 school safety interventions, 6 interventions conducted in institutions of higher learning, and 1 quarterly report, Honorable Chairperson, for issues of gender-based violence and femicide. And we've also had other 10 green doors were planned, were implemented as set out, and so were the 6 interventions to support gender-based violence structures, as well as the implementation of the gender-based violence strategic plan for Gauteng, and the e-panic button report on the rapid response was also compiled. We are working with eGov on that as well. All 144 policing precincts. At the moment, we have 38. By Q2, we had 38 community policing forums that were assessed, and we also had 28 patroller teams that were assessed in line with the existing standards. In terms of traffic management, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, we have the Special Law Enforcement Transport Inspectorate and the Safety Promotions. We have them having achieved all their targets, and 67% on special law enforcement, and this gave us a total of 89%. On special law enforcement, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, it was the training of the drone pilots. As indicated, we had 11 at the time, 90 are supposed to be trained. We will be achieving this by the end of the financial year. The Integrated Provincial Command Center, as indicated, is work that has already now at least started. We should be receiving our first invoice from the service provider so that we can realize expenditure on work that has been done in that regard. We have conducted to date for Q2 1,926 reckless and negligent driving operations, 3,352 speed operations, as well as 449 drunken driving operations, 586 pedestrian operations have been conducted, and 329,729 vehicles have been stopped and checked. We have 49 compliance inspections that have been done, and 936 crime prevention operations conducted together with other law enforcement agents. 11 officials have been trained on drone pilot training. Chair, we have a further 48,288 crime prevention operations conducted. This is done by our crime prevention wardens. We have also 41 patrol vehicles that have been procured. We have this target for the helicopters, a third one, Honorable Chairperson, as we look at the adjustment budget and where we are and our commitments, a third helicopter is supposed to be leased. However, we may need to revise this target, Honorable Chairperson, so that we are within we recognize the constraints that are within the fiscus. We also then, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, we were able to have a report on the motor vehicles monitored through the e-toll gantries, and we are integrating the Provincial Command Center, which we are working on, and that is work that is in progress. 151,564 public passenger transports, including taxis, operations were conducted. 186 law enforcement operations targeting learner transport were conducted, and by the end of the second quarter, we had 62,097 vehicles that were weighed through our weigh bridges. In terms of road safety, we had 175 road safety awareness interventions that were conducted, 180 schools that were involved in road safety education programs, and 69 road safety pedestrian education programs were also conducted. And lastly, on this slide, we had 70 road safety driver education programs that were conducted. In terms of our financial performance, Chairperson, administratively, what we are allocated and what we can spend, we do get an allocation that is not quite what we would see as ideal, and we then need to work within the constraints of what we've been allocated and work towards the adjustment period so we can adjust our over and under expenditures to balance the budget out. As it stands, administration is overspending by 46%, and the Provincial Secretariat is at 100%. as a variance there in terms of the money, but in terms of traffic management, they are spending 64% of their budget as at Q2. Our compensation of employees is at 66%, while our goods and services at 89%. Our transfers and subsidies, Honourable Chairperson, Honourable Members, is at 198% over, and then we also have our payments for capital assets, which is at 85%. Payment of financial assets, Chairperson, we had none. We have a total of 73% of the budget in Q2. In terms of the explanation, Chairperson, the Provincial Secretariat also said, in traffic, the low spending is due to the elevated priorities, specifically the compensation of employees. Honourable Chairperson and Honourable Members, the crime prevention wardens were supposed to be appointed as permanent members of the Gauteng Department of Community Safety. However, due to the delays in the approval of the structure and now the moratorium that has been put in place through Circular 49 by the Department of Public Service and Administration, we would need to await the period to be lifted at the end of the financial year, and therefore this helps. We then have a savings, as it were, because of that. The over expenditure in administration has been due to the load shedding, which has resulted in us having to consume more fuel for the generator and of course the utilities at 2.1 million and 4.9 million respectively. Our software license was at 4.9 million. It's actually about 8 million that we have to pay, and that of course in terms of the budget allocation was not adequate from Treasury and resulted, and we cannot pay the software license even though the budget is not adequate. Honourable Chairperson and Honourable Members, we did have these funds that were rolled over, and so because of the commitments we had at the end of the financial year, and so the funds were rolled over. So when we look at the financial performance per program following the rollover of funds, this is now the picture that balances it out to say we have now 59% in Program 1, 48 and 33 in Program 2 and Program 3 respectively. That gives us the 36% overall within the department, and in terms of compensation of employees, 67% of the compensation of employees was allocated for the crime prevention wardens, and we have spent 31%. We have transfers and subsidies that are still at 164%, and our payment of capital assets is at 41%. This is long. The overall performance of compensation of employees, Chairperson, as explained, has been due to the delays. We did, however, manage to move the crime prevention wardens from the original training stipend of 4,000 to their on-the-job training stipend of 6,360. Anticipating and understanding, the department had applied the funds to be like the helicopter, amongst others. The department has also seen an increase in the expenditure on catering. We have a lot of initiatives where crime prevention wardens are required and requested, whether it's at soccer matches or be it at rugby matches or any other sporting or big events, and these happen in the evenings, and those who are on their off days therefore need to go back and work on those days and then need to be catered for accordingly. We've settled invoices for leasing of the helicopters, which has also given us an increase in the expenditure. We've also had the department continues to pay for stipends for the patrollers and the management fee there too. Transfers, payment of injury on duty, that we cannot avoid. The nature of the job within community safety is higher risk. We've got leave gratuity payment in lieu of any accumulated leave and capped leave, and then we've got claims against the state. We've got quite a number of litigations that have come to us. We've had an increase is due to the following as well in terms of capital assets: the purchase and payment of crafters, which are the 22-seaters to ensure that the crime prevention wardens can get to and from work. This is also to augment the vehicles that they have, but we also had to payment of our G-Fleet invoices and the installation of blue lights and branding of the vehicles. The new vehicles that we had purchased needed the branding as indicated. Chairperson, administratively, one has already gone through the details of it, and here it indicates our accruals and our payables as a year on year to date, and we have a 3%, a 13% rather of expenditure that is expected in that program. Chairperson, I think that when we planned our planned activities until the end of the financial year, the department will be continuing to pay our contractors, payment of utilities and invoices, overspending on software licenses, which was underfunded from the beginning. The transfers and subsidies we will have to continue, Chair, to pay the injury on duty Honourable Chairperson and Honourable Members, leave gratuity and the claims against the state. Lastly, on the facilities, procurement of security system, work through metal detector, baggage x-ray machine, so that we can assist ICT procurement of additional laptops and desktops. As we increase the number in the department, we have required additional laptops, and as others are getting older, new laptops have been required. Honourable Chairperson, this is a spending pattern, honourable members, of each sub-program within Provincial Secretariat. To a spending, we are within 21%, and also here we further indicate the other categories, economic classifications, under which spending has been taken place. The planned activities on goods and services will be for 16 days.
Sorry, Komorahu. Can somebody go and ask those who are on the passage then not to disturb us inside, please? Let's try to summarize. We are left with 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Chair, Honourable Chairperson and Honourable Members. I'll only focus on the first, goods and services. The activities, the transfers, the subsidies and the capital assets remains the same. We will have 16 days starting on the 25th of November. However, we have started our build-up events of 16 days. We'll have payment of monthly stipends for our patrollers, our brigaders, but we'll also have additional patrollers during the festive season. And of course, our fuel, our tolls and operating license portions, our back-to-school campaign and our safety month will be there. This is the traffic spending patterns, Honourable Chairperson, Honourable Members. And in this regard, our planned activities will be the continuing training of crime prevention wardens. There are some who are currently being trained as traffic wardens as well. The procurement of tools of trade continues with the bulletproof vests, handcuffs, push to talks, as well as the torches and uniform. We also, Chairperson, we have accruals and payables, and in terms of goods and services, we have a total of 41,513 and 1,510 and 32 million on payable of assets. We have a total of 75,483 in terms of our accruals and payables as of 30th September. The payment of within 30 and 50 days. On 100%, we are now focusing on ensuring that we can also reach 100% of payments of invoices within 15 days in line with the Gauteng Provincial Government policy. In terms of fruitless and wasteful expenditure and irregular expenditure, as indicated earlier, Chairperson, this is historic. We have not had any fruitless and wasteful expenditure. An investigation of the previous years are being attended to through investigation, and the mitigating controls for irregular expenditure are being implemented, and we are looking at Section 38 of the PFMA to ensure that we are complying with that. In terms of performance on revenue, we are at 65% in total. In terms of sales of goods and services, 85%, and fines and penalties, we're at 89%, which is useful. We're hoping to improve that. And we have to have some cost containment measures that we have to put in place. And of course, the department has received cost containment measures 23 October. And then, of course, there will be no international travel. That has also been curtailed. And then conference and workshops catering, where we can, as the accounting officers, we need to then see how best we can manage those. Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson and Honourable Members, for the time.
Thank you. Now we talk about, let's say, the comments and ask questions. I'm just going to allow you first to be the first ones to speak, and then the members of the committee will make comments, and then the department will respond, and then we'll close the meeting. So I'm going to identify people by numbers, and we are going to agree on 3 minutes each, so that we allow as many people to speak as possible. So a re batle motho o tlo batlang go etsa a State of the Nation address ha bua mo. You raise your question, you make your comment in 3 minutes so that we allow as many people to comment. So we're going to section the hall into 3. We'll start this side, cover it. Point has been raised. You don't have to repeat it again. Or your question has been raised, you don't have to repeat it again. So can you identify by hands on this side? People who want to speak. So there's 1 there. You are 1. 2, me watuku e blue. Me watuku e blue. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 this side. So let's start ka 1 more. 3 minutes each. Thank you.
Dumelang badudi ba social nguve. Dumelang leadership. Before ke bua se ke batlo se bua ke batlo raise a point le wena chairperson. It's like a ka rata the way ho bileng ka teng. We wanted to raise an issue before meeting it. So when you acted like onale solution or we'll just throw it through our neck and then ra ikwenya ho fella mo. So nekere he o dila le community, please come to our level. That is why most South Africa we are missing the point, because politicians up there think but very briefcase here the answer. It doesn't work that way. I've been raising my hand and then ignore to a point a very root sign or efforts. I didn't like that. Okay. My point point because of response evident from the community, because presentation is a powerful presentation, but it's not talking to us. Comrade Chairperson, the community of Social Nguve is dying. That's why I wanted to suggest a change approach before the presentation, and the presentation the websiting and the regularly bread and butters issues are Social Nguve. But what Social Nguve ba oppressive ke ditsotsi ba kena mo ntlong tsa bona ho etsahalang ho etsahala ntho tse mpe, terrible things. So na the meeting lo hore ke tlemo, my aim or my purpose ne le hore re tlo offer strategies or as government and community, what can we do? For example, ne re batla hore Comrade Chairperson, ne re batla hore the units tse di leng teng di khopele ho bereka le di community le di patrollers, the crime warden le ba empower more, le ba arme, and then ba bereke le di that's what we wanted, that's what we expected. And then le former military veterans ba emisa matsoho ba re ba teng ba available to help the community, because community ya Social Nguve ke le watle e khona ho kolomaka. We had a problem ya gangster Masadam, 2 days was enough. We had a problem ya taxi violence. Aya solve ke masole. Aya solve ke special units tsa police. E solve le ke CPF, Comrade Chairperson. CPF ya retrat. Ya ilo thusana le ntate Musungkutu. Then the taxi violence was solved. So community ya Social Nguve ke le watle la tikolomaka, Comrade Chairperson. Hence ke wela morao ke re hane ke misaletso, the purpose was regulele ka strategy se seleng now, because batho every day ba shwa. Jugulane Block DD, the serious problem. Today, tomorrow, what? You can check with that. So, Kiaokopa Chairperson, just change the way Udilan Lernakating, and then Negakopa lady suggestion or Kopotaka, di no diwe. Yeah, the crime warden, the empower the army, patrol jointly community. I thank you.
Can you introduce yourself?
ke nna ntate Mabuti Musia. Ke nna ko block DD Soshanguve. And
Thank
mo
you,
ke tlile ka
Abuti
kepe
Sia.
ya, pardon? Mo ke tlile ka kepe ya a neighborhood watch. In my area, block DD, it's one of the flash points. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, bintlu dia batlaro. And ba o batla o le teng ka mo hare, comrade chairperson. Monday, Tuesday, and then happy le Jukulane. Community, ke sebetsa thata as a community leader le community ya Jukulane. There is a serious problem, or inyaga strategy from both government and community, because it wouldn't help. Because
Okay.
we know the dynamics. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Number 2. Number 2.
Ke a dumedisa hape. Ke tlo ba mokhutswane thata. Ke tla Jukulane. Ke ile ka ba le bothata bo bogolo. Go na le bashimane ba ne ba tshwere sethunya. Ka founela police station ya Rehabilitation. Ka ba bitsa gore bana shiba ba tshwere sethunya ba ithuta go thuntsha maphodisa ba re monna ba rotlhe retla. He ba fitla ke re ene mapatrola tsamaile ke bona ba ne ba nthusa ba re bashimane ba le ba kae ke re ne ba lemo ba re monna ba re okay he o fetso ba tshwara ba ra nna ka he ke fetso ba tshwara bashimane bao ke ba bitse maphodisa a ko Rehabilitation. Unfortunately a ka tseya mabitso a bona. Thusitse ke le patrola a se le kwa. Yes. So ne ke kopa gore mapatrola le wa acknowledging. Mapatrola a tshwana le bo our neighbors. Mapatrola a tshwana le bo makhelwane ba rena. Hola ba mo ka pela. Ho bitsa le phodisa le tla o botsa re nna ke berekele station se reporta ko kae kae and wa ibona vanish o re ke khupela thuso. Ke khupela thuso ka pela abuto na ron tshwara po ba re mama nna ke berekela Loatle a ke berekele Soshanguve tsamaya o khupela maphodisa a ko Rehabilitation. Ke re batho motho a ntshwara po o tsamaya ka vene ba re a se ba ibitsa gore a se ing ya rena ya rena e ko Loatle. So Mr. Chair, mapatrola ba riska ka maphelo a bona for rena. They risk and abana dithunya ba abana selo ba tshwere disamboko le mapatata fela ene aba patele ke motho aba gole. So ke kopa gore mapatrola kaofela le ba acknowledging ma green beans le bona ba ikemela mo stop signing. Ho ba botsisa gore are you on duty ba tla re ya sure mamzo no re.
O setse ka 30 seconds ma.
Ke a leboha. Wa eme mo ke Ntate Chauke, all the way from Jubilee. So, Mr. Chairperson, ke eme so ke le a community member, ebile ke le one of the patrollers sa Jubilee. Ke tlo beisetsa question ya ka modima representation e bileng ke HOD. Gore ho na le a budget ya 11.2 million e le hore e allocated ma patroller for the stipends tsa bona. My question on that ke hore ma patroller ba le bolelang ka bona ba le ba allocated 11.2 million for stipends ke ba ba feng? Because nagele le patroller la ka mo Jubilee ko di W a re itse go na le batho ba le gore ba absorbile ke government ba le gore ba engage le rena as community members. Rena re le di-ordinary members re formile patrol go ya ka section to section gore re save community ya rena against crime. But I'm surprised hele bolela gore go na le tšhelete e le gore e patola mapatrola ba rena re sa ba itseng. Mapatrola ba teng ke rena. Is the department aware gore go na le batho ba e le gore ba riska maphelo a bona, unknown, unregistered, for the sake ya community ya rena na? Ba e le gore a ba kry selo from the government? That's my question.
Sanbonani, ninjani, lo kulma uba Petros Mtombeni, I patrola lase Jubilee nema X. Angaz uti kanti ama patrola bar mabangala si shalis kates ngakanani ngoba si volunteer kanti si volunteer size soguga yini ngoba insizwa amamele zize kithi utawu la Richard uyasifeyila lo baba loya because of bafikile manathi athi minwana yahamba kodwa ukuthi sithi ibuye lo mnona leyo ayibuyi ene marathina saqhubeka nomsebenzi wethu siyasebenza so volunteer kuze kube nini bengicela ke nisale le ndaba emuva ngoba nathi siyariska ngempilo zethu la sihlala khona Mr Chair masingakhomba ukuthi kunjani angeke uthande mara siyariska thina ngempilo zethu siyavuka ekuseni sithatha abantu sipase emabhasini siyabuya sijika la emzini kodwa izinto zethu akukho la ziyakhona isithembiso sikhona kodwa sikho but thina siyasebenza kanti thina solungela nini yini abanjani abalungelako thina solungela makutheni ngiyabonga baba bengiba kodwa nisheshisele lento nilungise eShoshanguve.
Ubaba uthe ubani igama? Ubaba uthe ubani igama ba? Petros Mtombeni. Okay. Thank you.
Ke a lo dumedisa kaofela le di leadership ko pele. Nna ke le patrola la ko di ex Jubilee. Flopo yaka ke tse baya blind. Le tlo ntshwarela ka di language e ke buang. Flopo kore ke itlwaetse. So imagine re hatiste menwana. Injury on duty. Re batlo itse re ke bokae as ma patrollers kaofela. No matter ba hatisitse or aba hatisi. Secondly, ba fa PMP. Thunya so le ba ntshitse ko phatleng. Ho thoma or per PMP la ba irang ba o sa. So ne ke kopa hore tswetswe bathong re tseng serious because yes re tsere Spanish re itsore re mo risky but le sa re tlohela le sa butiwa mafoko a hore le tsere Spanish le itsore se mo risky. So now I'm living with disability and who bile le di flopo tse baya blind because how thoma ba re di deployee the other patrollers aba serious because they were the ones lo re motshwantse ba ba serious ba ye ba yo patrolla ko dikolong mara ba tseya ba tseya batho ba bone eo ke shoka yona cause I've been there ke boy. Oh, this is so menwana ya rona re itse re ene ke sure gore right now le community safety da a le ritse cause go ya ka nna ka kitso yaka di-file tsa rona ba le ba ba hatiste menwana ne di tshwanetse di ye ko pele ko lona re itse gore okay he ke go bana da so ke le ko patrolong ka itse gore stipend ke bokae ke kry-a bokae he ke go betse re tlhakana le bona ba bantši ra ba tebise ya bofelo ne kgopelo e itse gore if ke batlo cleara menwana ka ke nyako go tswa ke ira bjang cause rena ba bang dipelo tsa rena ke tse nnyane cause no a re kgone go beta cause re atiste menwana a re kgone black sem re atiste menwana flopo kore o beta ba o tshwara so re atisitse as a belief.
Dumelang batswadi le kae batswadi ke deputy chairperson ka Molowate police station ya lo twisisa ka mokgwa le bonang ka teng dipatrola ra bereka ka Molowate police station me president ya hore ke tshwere sa bangena tshwere di patrola re patrola so ya utlwa real tshwanetse re dipatrola rena di thui mara ba tshwara thipa ka bohaleng ene bana ba batho ba hobala mara re tshwanetse re ba thuse re bone gore na re tswa bjang crime ke ntši mara maphodisa re berekang le ona police station ya Lowate ya ba tlota nna ka gore re berekisana le bona re a thusana le bona ra jarisana ha re ireng so le bona ba emela rena re ka mo Moloa so ke nna bolelang tate Maloka bolela David Maloka.
Thank you. Nerente 6 this side. Sorry, in the middle now. Koparemise matsogo mara like a point e ke chilong, if a point has been raised or a question has been raised, oskai repeat. Because unkanako and you know, so you can say a new thing, raise a new comment or ask a new question. We have had the issue of the patrollers, the stipend study patrollers, what happens to the issue of those who are injured on duty. We have had that. We created a strategy, or we need a strategy that combines everyone that will make sure we are able to deal with it. So this side, 1, Katiba e white, 2, when our KPC, 3, what is specs, 4, singles, 5, spot is a green, 6, kitse what is specs, 2. Bear little offers here. Has a good feeling number, bear little offers. Okay, I'm calling fats because lampaises, I know. Arkaleko Morajo. In Telan Sugu, Mrs. on Bonagat again once. 1, Katibe white, 2, Kepise green, a red, yeah. 3, when our specs, me what Katibe green, number 4. 5, 6, 7. Or 5 were now the singles, yeah. Then 7 come last come. Se refedite come. On that se refedite come. Naime sit okay, utlaba wena okwala. Utlakwala. Okay, arakalema.
Yeah, dumelang batswadi. Okay, Google must tole cohort 89. Chairperson re leboha di report tsa le re fileng tsona. Di monate a di monate. Ke utlwa botlhoko thata ke le koko. Ka bana ba di petrollers. Le di maleng bana ba ka ne? Di maleng mo fase. Ke utlwa botlhoko ka bana ba ba ka. Bana ba rena ba bereka mara hona le zuka ba ikiriya 7 years ba bereka hona le zuka ba ikiriya le ko dikolong ke bona tsotlhe dikolo madundu na dimba dikana go bontsha gore tšhelete ba e ja. Chairperson, ke utlwa botlhoko gore maphodisa a bereka. Maphodisa ha ba bereke. Didimalang du. Homa fesa le maphodisa ha ba bereke. Ba khona ho tsamaya ka M17 bo tsana ka okay fala ba ye go tlase ba re ba tshwara ha ba tshware ntšiwana or ka bošufuru le forina le teng le montla ba mo file 8 tau. Ba bereka ha ba bereke. Batana house to house ya di shopo ba nyaka di cold drink le di 200. No man, we are sick and tired of maphodisa man. Tsamaya le pension man. Didi malam bana ba. Chairperson, ke na le 4 years. Ba boleile ngwanake. Ko 14. Le ka tšatši le a se batle monna ba tlo mpotsa gore makoko re tlile. Sale batla after 3 months ba tlo utlwa gore ke nnete na o tlhokofetse na. Le bjanong a shinkebe batho maphodisa ba rata tšotšo. Baraka leso gomme wena o utlwa botlhoko motswadi. Ebile ba nkgatle ba ka ba di shutse di bang ke ba nkgatle maphodisa. Ke tlotla bana ba le ke tsa mo teng di mamzo ba pateleng re utlwile sephiri ka tšeko ba pateleng. Ha ke rata gore motho a berekisiwe ke ngwana ke thaka hae. O berekisiwe ke thaka hao o ntse o itebeletse. O mpona ke gogo nna thaka ka se mberekisi na.
Masithole ona le 1 minute ya ho fetsa.
So le patele bana ba bereka ba bereka go phala maphodisa. Please re utlwile sephiri ka tšatši le ra leboga report e le tlisitseng. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dumelang. Le guy. Nage nna semma sango ke tla ko 29. Portion e leng ko Winterfeld. Chair. Na question aga it's very simple. Ene e wa iba to re diphitlhe. Wa bona che he re ka tlosa ho politicize di position ka mogara patroller. Ra tsaba because batho ba capable go ka ira mmereko mara because di politiki di tseneletse ka mora di police station le batho bana ba rena ba ba khono bereka gona le batho ba CPF ba bana le bo 7 years mara batho ba tlile mabane ba tsena and then le ba fa di stipend. Maloba le boletse hape ya bobedi che maloba le boletse ka di warden ra di warden di base mo di warden tsa batho mara nna ko warden yaka I want to tell you ha ona le warden le one. Araba itse ma warden re no bona ba tetse mo skontiri ke bana ba bo mamba tlhako kae is because kwa re tlhanko teng we rejected na. And at the end of the day ku re rwa le di councilora le batho ba ba re leadang because batho ba tlisa ke lena ka di beke ka mogare go di police station le ba fa mmereko at the end of the day batho ba rena di patrolla tsa rena di na le more than 7 years ba ka emella a bana le ditlhako mara you want us or batho ba rena ba ilo tshwara batho che. Che ku Winterfeld na di tenetse 1653 di plot gona ba no we are under siege gona le skana ku Winterfeld le re file le watle police station ka Vene 1 ai bereki batho ba di patrolla ba rena ba khone ba tshwere matsogo mara when le beletse go bosidibeng go e kurileng ma patrolla teng a phachima ba rena ba setlhefetse mo Pretoria. Batho ba boletse ba re ba tla jukuleng re tla Winterfeld we are in the same situation che a le re thusi ka selo every day la tla mo le re fa dijo le biletsa meeting la tsamaya. Go sala rena re na le problem. Maopane station is there. We are under siege ku Maopane station. Re khopetse ra re wa le sa deploy masole ku Maopane station. Di didimetse until ba tshwara le napo. Last ba tshwere minister rapo ke mo le thomo emel. Ma re ba tshwara ba tshwariwa. Ke ba ba ka meolla ka ngwana ha hona ba re ba mmolaile. A le bolele se. Because a go gobalele. Che, you are failing us. The department they are failing. At the end of the day, we are saying renale SAP, renale security cluster, eri tusa. Ba ilo ira ma patrolana le saba support.
Lastly,
kere ar papatele ma CPF arna ay longore. Aba krese lo mara la ba user, la ba berekisa, mo felo ba letsatsi le tisa batho. Le re tisetsa batho, che le re tisetsa batho, ba tlo bereka re bone batho ba re batho shiba ba kra di stipend mara batho ba thomileng CPF ka tsheko. Aba khono bereka because a le banyake, le na le batho ba le ba batlang. Le hona le program e le berekisa re le tloele bana ba lena ba fetse sekolo ka tšatši le bana ba fetse dikolo ke tšatši le re fund stipend. For how many years the patrols di le teng le sa di fesele? Batho ba go betse in the line of duty. I thank you.
Thank you. Nagi Muruti Chao ke wa AME Church. Ke tlamo 34 next door le police station at ya Soshanguve. And then not fortunate enough, maphodisa at Soshanguve ayira mmereko. Flopo kor habana dikolo, which is my wish or ele tloamo. Le romele maphodisa a ko Soshanguve dikolo, they are doing their job. And then mutata ba ba ira mmereko maybe ke taba ya ro. Gona le batho ba rena re ira 80% ya mmereko wa crime as community. Ha ke expect le police le tlhanga maskra le bereka Soshanguve le tlo weakness a rape ya ka mo next door ntlo ya ka. Ke tswa all out le police le fa ke nna the information. So re ira 80% ya mmereko. Maybe we have been trained ke ntate Kachali le ntate Mashiu here le mo CPF gore as community mmereko we ira ke rona re isa the information. Ko Soshanguve nna ke whistleblower a ke na taba lo gola as long as there is no crime. And go ke nnang ba ka se bethe motho ke betha 112 ka bitsa maphodisa ntse ke na le bona ntse ke phepa ke ska la metha a re bitse maphodisa ka mo ke busy ene ba tla maphodisa Soshanguve go rena kwa se utlwe ba re gona le crime. And then di warders tsa ko nna di ira mmereko ene ba ira mmereko go na le ntse one sa leng ka se irate ba tseya ngwana wa di beke tsaka a ke tsore ba mo fisitse ka eng a dumela tsone le motswadi. I told them o tla tswa mmereko nna re na le di case re reportileng MMC wa safety for the police le le sa te tshwaring pila ra kra chelete. So when being a le ke ba bitsa ba le sufi ba ba green lena ba le sufi ha ke tse go reporta ko mang le mpatele na re itse di rights tsa rona. So ba ska betha batho le police le bethe motho because re na le di chelete tse re di jang tse re patetseng ke MMC wa safety re na re le community ka o itse di rights tsa rona ba sutlile ke maphodisa. And then re bolela ka patrols a sa gole maybe that misunderstand re na le patrols a ithaupileng a mo rona ba patrola ka di vuvuzela but they are not registered. Ke ile go CPF chairperson ka di requirement ke eng gore bana ba ba rona ba ya tshwanele ba grant stipend ba le be yang go dikolo. So umbuditse requirement gore ba tsedi minwana ba be active mo CPF because ba le rena re bantsha di 50 rand ka kgwe and one ba no di re palla shema ba sa khono di kirabile ba nyenega mara ne re kopa considerang mapatrolas a ithaupileng ale a motseng a shianang le rena boshiu. Those are the people ba ileng a calling because o kira mapatrolas a leng ka mo police station already ke maphodisa lo bolela le bona o ke di thuso ba le sa ba pateleng maybe ba bolela ka bona ile bolela ka stipend ka itse le bolela ka ba le ba patela ba everyday ba reportang go CPF ba tsamaya le maphodisa ba rena re ba ile ba thau ba itse go motseng ha ba ho le re kopa re le ba consider. And
lastly,
ke ya chat ya driving siponisa kala tsema maphodisa ala a di renke tsa godimo di-colonel ba be di-commander tsa bana ba lesupi. Those people are tired, are stressed. Already ba tshela bana ba moya. You go there, I've been in the police force for many years. Lo botsisa ntho e simple as near as I am. Ke nyako itse wa itse o tla o phahamela o tlo ra o lapile o emetse pension. Get this young. Ke ba maphodisa a manyane a senang a juniors. A berekele batho, I know le bereka ka seniority le protocol whatever. But commander ba re ke lieutenant colonel general brigadier ba lapile. Ba yo senya bana ba ditlhalohanya. And a little
Okay.
But because the commander in charge of it, get clever, Kalalamo fielding, over a steady pulse.
Galeboama.
Baba Green,
Galeboama, 3 minutes ya hao e fedile. A re fe o mong. Ama, a re ska bereka jwala, a re ska bereka na jwala. A re ska bereka na jwala. A re ska bereka na jwala. A ke re dumelane hore ke 3 minutes. So wena ha o roba molao e re dumelane le wona, re tlo bereka jwang. And ke kopa hore everybody o buang, make your point. Make your point. Ke a tseba hore maybe point ya hao batho ba e rata ba tla o shapela matsogo, mara o tsebe hore ha ba o shapela matsogo, ba nka di-minutes tsa hao. So make your point and we etse hore o be fast o tlo kgona hore re tlo fa batho ba bangata go bua. Emma, o ka continue.
Thank you, Chairperson. Dumelang badudi, dumelang batladi. Ho ba le patroller is a passion. Nna ke Koko Joyce from Ward 34. Ke re ma patroller kaofela ke ba emisetsa letsogo ba bereka. Keep up the good work. And then I'd like to thank you, Mrs. HOD, for the performance ya financial report. You have done an excellent job. Continue with the good work. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Dumelang, ka lebitso ke Keneilwe Kobo. So nna se ke tlo se bolelang it's a point coming from a VFR point of view. Unfortunately,
Buela kodimo.
Hello.
Kaya ko raise a voice.
Oh, ke bolella kodimo. Ke bolella from a VFR point of view, even though we were not informed about this gathering, but then I'm just going to talk about it because of it was touched from the report that was given. So now, from my point, I would like in terms of giving service delivery, because in most cases, cases, and ba productive because some are not maybe domestic violence case where it involves physical or maybe go to something drastic. That person and again, in a police station, maybe more we are based. Most of mostly CPF in other VFRs. There are some VFRs more CPF and VFR. But then in most cases, CPF because we work for the community. As much as the police station, but then we work for the community. And most community members, they don't know who VFR. We go raise the awareness, but then most of them are surprised because cases of domestic violence and sexual assault, they are surprised. So now, like, because how some of the people the police station, but they were not inducted. I did something police station and they didn't recognize me. They didn't know who So my office specifically, what is that office for? They didn't know. So I think le bona tshwantse ba teketse ba ti informe ha ba fihla mo plekeng so that they can know how fihla ko o na le case ya domestic violence or sexual assault ko motseng o tle o khona hore o berekisane le rena hore motho a kone go kry-a a relevant service, because some people bona ha ba thusa fela a ba thusi in the right way, ba thusa ka mokgwa bona ba feelang ka teng. So ko mafelong a person o ba victimized because yena ha itse hore sontso a ye kae. So ha le na le mathata fela la bolela le di VFR so that we can assist. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 6.
Dumelang ba botle le kae? Ke kopela ho fitisa issue e. Mo reportong ya ho MMC ke bone o boletse sa
Kopa o introduce.
introduce ke fetsa. Ne ke nahana okay. Ke nna Laurentina ke Mmamodise ne. Ke nna ko Soshanguve extension 3 ward 89. Mo reportong ya MMC o boletse ka di koloi tsa located to maphodisa for patrol tse 50. So ko ke nna a ke bone di koloi di patrola tsa maphodisa. Di koloi tse di leng teng tsa maphodisa di ya ko di tuck shopong, di ya ko di scrap yard, hona le scrap yard around mo re number itse extension 3. Di tsamaya mo di koloi a rena di koloi tse patrola ene hona le di koloi tse di tsamaya di tshwara batho po montshare. Kore di tsamaya freely kare a ke itse re ko kae kare re mo movie. Motho o tshwara motho poho mo ka koloi a ba yo tshwara o mo poho mola and then ha ona vene anywhere. A ho patrolli so ke nyaka o tlhalwana hore koloi tse 50 di allocated to Soshanguve or maybe ko Soshanguve ba tliste e one or ha ya kreya ho kreile police station tse dinna and why re sna maphodisa a patrola whether ke boshiu or ke montshare la pile ke di thunya batho ga re roba le pila go last thunya a ke itse ha kae mo ara boshiu a o khone o roba montshare bana ba tsaelwa di phone bana ba sekolo.
Thanks, Mamudise. Refeditse mone. So we're coming to the last group. Oh, you are the last one, this group. And then Retlakam.
Yeah,
no, we have recognized him. What's ever? Utskamulela, what's ever Tubuale? Mot.
Yeah, Tlagale dimension, Babot Legamarantrim. Alben Patlola Blalam from Ward 89, extension 4. Che, yeah, man, what is the patrollers? Come for Sokolangate. Ra launcher, ma police agatisha mena abachi. Abaisha the column, abaisha the complex. Kodumolo. Crime kama ramot, bartana la kama ramot, mtsara ba chali TV ba chali everything. Vana ba tsoruwa po, lebo mme ba tsoruwa po, and little rapid kama ramot. Hopela ma police e filo bona ba ne ba thoba ba nyaka ba isha go kontuwe. Ska ba tsa ba twanda re ba lontsheng ka mogala, especially volunteers. And se sengwe gape re gopa le molao ka ra parliament, ngele wa poleng wa gore no. A re gane go article o se go te tshela molao matsogo. Mara especially ba thore sa ba ishimatso ba no tseba rutlo no muswara jwa mosotho se re studi o ra swere le panga wa muswara jwa ka matso a hao ka ntlo re mo trape pele o re mo fitlele ka tseding molao o wa lena wa re bola because of aba thoma ba tshware sha fitla kwa le rena well met mapodisa na re a berekela ba swara rena ba re wow met ka mo ba re ka andabona and se sengwe gape che go gopela go itse serious man ya stipend sa rena di volunteers gopela yo itse serious gopela o itse serious o dule mo godimo ga yona tabe ya ra sokola a re kreselo ene le ba hira ene ya le sefil a re tseborna it le jwa re no go wa tshaba bolela ba re and strictly age again ma volunteers ga ba sontse ba atsene mo batho ba re ba tsentse ka di ward. So a re na go tlhorutsana mo re nyakisisa ra tse wa re go tsamaile corruption e nngwe e itseng mara next time ge le boa le consulted the chairperson tsa volunteers then di lo tla kgona go tsamaya gabo. Thank you.
Okay, let's come to this side. And kopa re ska repeat the points, ne? How repeat a point se re tlo kwala, re tlo tima mic ya hao. How ka bua ka taba ya di patroller hore aba patalwe. that point has been made. Re utlwile. So a re qale mo 1 2 1 ke wena 1 ma 1 2 3 4 rise 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. So by 13 come and Kichelo, don't repeat a point that has been said, because a point about patrollers has been spoken and but babangata babuile kayon. Stipends, injury on duty, appreciation, that has been raised. So can we get new points that have not been raised? And let's stick to 3 minutes. Thank you. Rikaqala, 1.
Sanbonani Makaban. Upauta lokuluma ne from Chuguleni. Chairperson, eshoting and bingelela. Ukala isikalo sami ukuthi chairperson isoshanguve as a whole. Omama ba rape, baba rape, and akuna ne even interpreter ye sign language police station as a court. So lezo into ezifana nalezo nikhona implemente. Abantu bareshwa ngoba abakhona ukukhuluma abakhuluma ngamasign. Okunye kwesibili indawo yaseJuguleni ifuna ipolice station. Ukusuka la eJuguleni uza eRedgard ufuza ugibele itaxi is 25 rand to Juguleni. So I think masingathola ipolice station la unamakhundwane khona ikati mayingekho azilawula. So if you put a police station lapha into zonke zizolunga. Okunye ngibona unkokheli zethu ze traffic department. I-accident isibaziningi kakhulu ngoba you are not aware ukubana amatayeri lawa abawa retreatayo ama-casings they expired anowa-check-e futhi ni-check amatayeri mayivela ku-retreat uthola ukuthi itayeri balimbathise i-thread mara i-casing iphele ngo-1990 ifakwa ebhasini ifakwa elorini ziya-exploda maziphuma ziya KwaZulu Natal maziphuma ziya kubo-Nelspruit yiko sithola ama-accident ngoba ama-tires yona ibhasi iba roadworthy i-truck iba roadworthy but those tires are dangerous just because they are retreads zi-expired retreads zakhona. Thank you.
Number 2.
Dumisa butle nagina runi ke tswa ke le Amaskral. So na pointa ka eke raise ngitaba ya maphodisa le ma traffic. So chairman na maphodisa le ma traffic are failure chairman. So are failure. So solution ya ga na I think maybe like how about maybe ba fe or maybe like rabatsentsha di body camera bo re bone mmereko o ba o etsang. Wabo cause bare failure chairman. So the body camera tseo mo dikoloing le mo di-batcheng tsa bona ba nne le tsona dilo tseo chairman wabo. So ke solution ya ka tseo ya hore ma traffic le ma police tshantse ba fe di body camera chairman. And hape as point ya ka hape gore re utlwile hore ona le batho ba volunteerang for 7 years. So and more 7 years senyona eo ona le each and every year ma police a recruit chairman. So kamko a recruit ngateng how about batho ba volunteer re thome ka bona chairman wabo cause ona batho ba volunteer for 7 years na chairman wabo. So point ya ka ke yona ye hore maphodisa le ma traffic di body camera tshantse ba be le tsona and hape le strategy maphodisa ma traffic abana strategy chairman tsa approach ko nyaka maphodisa a le 5 ba pala ko maybe like who belela le motho moano maybe if motho le lor o committee or maybe o tsiletsile ba pala go mo approach ka strategy abana strategy ba tlo metha ba irang ba metha ka di pepper spray abana strategy wabo. So tante di body camera di bagi di taser wa twat tante le ba fetsona chairman. So ke point ya ka yo.
Thank you. Number 3. And before we'd like to welcome the MEC. We did receive your apology. May Faith Mazibugo, she's already arrived, so she's going to help us also to talk to the issues that you have raised. Number 3, we already have got almost 26 comments, so we are continuing.
Tovela, Kiabutitio from F3, hallelujah. Abuto ntse mantswe, empa ke tla tla ka sese. Na ke be ke makatsa ke hore re na lo founela maphodisa go na le bothata mo gae. Ke makatsa gore why ba re faila mo bothateng mo re na le mbona o kre re ba founela empa ba satle. I remember monna mamholwaka na betha mamholwaka ebe amunka hona ko gae a tsamalena a ritse re bile na ba ile kae re be ra founela bo maphodisa empa ba re feitsa a ke batla gore ke makatsa gore why ba re feila ebe kaosane wa teng ebe ya re kaosane ebe ba satle re bile ra tsamaya ra yo go mocheka ko motseng wa malomaka ebe ra ba founela hampe empa ba re feitse ke a makala gore why ba re feila ke ntwe mmakatsa. It's my question.
Number 3. Number 3. Can you sort out the mic?
Kia leboga. Naki Mashiro from Block AA. Kutlile di tlitlebo tsotlhe tse re bolelang ka tsona. Pono ya ka ne ile hore re lebelle the root cause ya dilo tsotlhe tse. Ke tla mention tse ke naganang gore no e ka ba tsona. Tse ding ba bang ba tla kgona go di add-a. Sa mathomo poverty, unemployment, e lore ia namella in state hore at least e fokutsege. The cause of unemployment e causa hore crime e namelle. Hore re seke ra bana le employment lefatshe la rona ga le in a way that the investors ba ka rata hore ba tlo investa mo. Instead, they are running away. Gora hore no re tlo tswela pele re ntse re tlhoka mesebetsi and crime e namella go fitlela re jana ka mele. Ne ke kopa hore a go irwe something because le lona nkebe le simo nkebe le hore everybody was working. Nkebe le simo because lefatshe tlabe le le settled. So ne kopa hore na a re dile ka the root cause. How can we give people employment? Yes, re ka bolela ka di-drugs, re ka bolela ka dilo tsotlhe tseo, but di causwa ke eng? Di causwa ke tlala. Ke a leboha.
Thank you. Number 5.
Ka le dumedisa ka lebitso la Kriste Jesu. HOD, thanks, the report was fair. But number 1, you list 2 helicopters, you procured 3, you are in the process of procuring 1 if not mistaken, but you never demystify or the achievement, at least a 1, the relay. Please next time do it. And then number 2, you said that people with disabilities, they didn't meet the requirements. So therefore it suffices to me no hore, have us qualify. Why can't you take these young graduates, at least but not tiba those spaces? Because for our abating, our disabled by school. Number 3, you said officials are flying drone. Those officials also have failed. Back to the same thing. Why can't you consume these graduates? Maybe bona ba tlo pass because they're still young. And then to Dr. Masuku, comrade, with due respect, mo Gauteng province, mo Sunday Times senior last week, bantitse key areas mo, I'm very xenophobic, mo makwerekwere ba biang di chain ko strateng. Begi kele, o boletse ka tsona fela, and then he done nothing. And then more R18, ona le maphodisa, but yesterday they were not there. So why can't the BMWs already bona mo locationing di sasankang? I can maybe ba berek. Let those helicopters, they be consumed to di bereke di highways tsa rona mo Gauteng, especially mo key areas tse ba di tlhaisitseng maloba ko Sunday Times saying. Thank you.
Yeah, are retract, are correct fella. Are retracted the word that you used. Are retract.
Yeah, xenophobic.
Yeah.
Yeah, ya xenophobic.
Yes. Are retracted just for the sake of all of us, because we can allow another one to say something else about someone else.
Okay, in Jesus' name I retract it. But my child was a victim of it.
Thank you.
Now the car is written off.
No, we just accept the retraction. Number 6.
Ke a dumedisa. Ke Fariko.
Au ba unka video.
Ke Fariki ke rakolo. Kolobe ke senemi wala sala e makana. Nna ke Kolobe ke one ya di patrollers. Ke dutlile tse tlhaetseng ka di tlhaisitseng ke ba heso ba re sebetsang le bona ka di issues tsa di patrollers, but ke tlo try hore ke be somewhere mo ba sa fihlang ko teng. Firstly, nna ntho ke tlo buang ka yone, ke tlo bua ka visibility ya di patrol, communication ya di patrol. As le bona ka jena bona na ke tshwereng a ke tshepo re tlo kgona ho tshwara sekebekwa ka di-whistle ewa a e kgonale, and re ke ra memezana gore John ke kopa o thibe ka moo ke tla thiba ka mo. No, we're not going anywhere. Gore re tlo kgona ho fenya se re lwanang le sona is only re tlo ba le communication e right. Ha ke kgona ho bua le ke le ko di-W, ke kgona ho bua le wa di-X, ke rona le kolo e tshwara poo ke o ya khophoka ba tlo kgona ho tswala tsela ko di-X. Ha ke tlhaela nna ke le Kolobe a o tlhoka le hore ke re mo motho ke re ke le patron tje ka bomme le bontate ba le ba emeng mole. Re dula re le teng ha ro community every day. Dilo tsa community di tseba ke patrol, a ke bue ka CPF. Dilo tsa community di tseba ke patrol. O kena hara location ha rampa bosiu o thola patrol, o ka se thole CPF, o thola patrol. Ba e loreng ha o lla dithunya o tlo utlwa fofozela o iputsise hore mara motho o naganang o lla dithunya mara ena o shapa fofozela e ya teng mowe mo lla sethunya ko teng ka se patrol le botlhokwa ho ne ke go a ke tsore o ka etsalang hore a ke tle le bona hore patrol le botlhokwa ho, and ho patrol ya rona ke tlo le bolella nthong, we have ex-inmates. They are trying to give back to the community. Pasintse morao, yes. Ene ke bona ba tlhale dikebeko. Bona bawe ke bona ba tlhale dikebeko ba tla tsona. O ka se thole vene e patrola le di patrollers. Vene o tshwere ke ya CPF. Patrola a ena vene. Ne re kopa ntho tse tshwanang kana le tseo. Dipula di ana ke December. Ro patrola bja thanki. Ke sena ke re bja.
Sharp. Number 7.
Nna ke dula ke hona le extension ke la pleke entšha e tlang from DW ba e bitsa ka Mabone. Pleke la party ho thewa e wela under Ward 95. Police station e sebetsang site ya rona ke Themba le Hammanskraal. Ha re ya re gate ba re a ba re tsebe.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sanibonani. Lo khuluma njengabantu akalanga.
ubuye block V Soshanguve. Uputi sekakushilo kuningi partner yami ngizothayisela lapho nalapho. Ngoba sengibonile vese kugcwele kakhulu kwipatrol. Baba siyacela ukuthi mase siqedile ukusho zonke izikhalo zethu usithembise ukuthi uzobuya kinini kithi uzosinika impendulo or uzosinika namhlanje sizokwazi ukuthi isifiso sami ukuthi ama-patrol manje ahlangane onke kungabe ipatrol ukuthi le yakuphi yakuphi asebenzisane nikwazi ukuthi mhlampe ngelinye ilanga niwaxhase ngamabhayisikili noma ngaba zikuta ama-radio lawa ashoyo ubaba sikwazi ukuthi sile nobugebengu because ubugebengu siyalwa nabo thina abanye sibuya kubo ubugebengu sibazi bonke sibiyekile ngoba manje sifuna ukuthi i-community isibone sesichangeile so siyacela umuntu omdala nisithathele ekhanda lethe senze adlale nisithathele ekhanda nibuye kithi manginothi nizobuya ngelinye ilanga nizosinika impendulo nisitshele kusemanje masiphuma sihlangane singama-patroller sikwazi ukuthi sizohlangana ngalelo langa sizothola impendulo because siyafisa ukuthi nathi sibe ne-inform kunabantu masipatroller siyasigqoka ama-reflector acishe abe so ama-reflector esiwagqokayo mara igebengu seziyawagqoka ama-reflector ziyoganga ube ngathi ipatrol and akusiyo ipatrol ibiyoganga so siyacela nathi ngathi singaba ne-inform asinawo amandla ngabe sesiwenzile amandla ukuthi nathi siyithole i-inform manje ningasixhasa ngama-inform amabhayisikili inyana 2-3 sibe nama-ofisi mina ngine-ofisi la ngibuya khona le-patrol ngisebenzisana namaphoyisa ayeza amanye ama-case awafiki e-police station aphelela lapha kimi e-ofisini mara ngisebenzisana nawo amaphoyisa so siyacela nisiphendule kuyo yonke le mbuzo ethi siyikhuluma ma-patrol ngiyanicela niqine bafowethu nonke ngiyazi abaningi bayekile abaningi babona ukuthi ipatrol ibakhela izitha yebo izokwakhela izitha mara qinani bafowethu sekuseduze phambili siyabonga.
Number 8.
Thobela la gae kaofela ka mo khorong o wa bolela mo ke Joel Nyampi ke tlhaka mo maboneng ka mo next to DW ko mongwa ma patrollers e shira ho bala ma patrollers ke khopela re tie mata re se ke ra fela moko ka le bona le maphodisa le bona ba bereka mmereko ya bona ba ira ya bona na ne ke khopela hore motlhokomedi wa rona ba re tsele ntlhoho ka hele rena ba bang ba heretswa ka mo dijarateng re ra patrolong basadi ba rena balwa ba ro tla boa na ke re ya wa meskati ke tla boa ke lwela setšhaba sa ha borena le sona hore se tie matla ka borena so ne go kopela wena mmera borena hore o seke wa re tswalela ko ntle o be le rena ma patrollers amen.
Number 9.
Dumelang, ke thabile ho ba mo ka tsatsi le la kajeno. Nna ke nna Lina Masina. Ke na le bothata bo eleng hore ke batla hore re thusane ka bona. Ke bile mo CPF, ke na le 29 years. Ke sevile le ena ntate Kwenaiti. Asa le go di-sub branching. Ke kgopela hore CPF anke le recognizing. Why CPF is a kgone ho hola mo motseng? Because we recruit every day, but we can't bereka why because I can't bereka katlala. Bana le malapa, bana le bana ba tshwantse ba ye dikolong. So re khopela gore recognizing CPF ke khale re khopela stipend se santsa rena le bo faith masibuka re berekile le bona bo nomvula mokwenyane. Re nna re ntse re bolele le bona ka taba ya CPF gore re khopela stipend ka hara CPF. Mo e leng gore go tlile patrol e na le stipend but ko dikolong re kgopela gore le o le mo motseng o patrola mo motseng o serve community as CPF member o be le something so se irang and re kgopela leng le workshop why because o twan recruiter ka ba CPF ke sa itse mmereko ka gore ke eng one recruiter ka ba patrola ka itse gore mmereko ka go tsama fela mo tseleng ke security motse but ke sena workshop re kgopela le training batho ba borone ba be le training ba khone go gola le bona.
Dumelang le gae re teng batswadi ne khopela re ngo tlasenyana khopela le nkutlwelle go ba le nkutlwelleng pila ka yo le nkutlwe pila chebe khopela le nkutlwelle very decisively le nkutlwe go tlore la re sa re se bisa maka che ne ke khopolo thoma ka point of order ya lena o le wa re o re file 3 minutes re utlwane ka yona a wa re botsisa o re boditse ne re kopa le gore sa re botsa next time o bolele le rona ra agree ke re o le wa re o re fa 3 minutes each wa re utlwane ka yona a zanga wa re botsisa a ke itse utlwane le mang ke kopela gore next time wena o re botsise
o waste nako ya hao ka be o etsa di-points tsa hao
ke point
okay the point is noted.
Yeah, you should learn. I would never talk about
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for teaching me, hero.
For the safety of community, the video I see the camera, and I trust the government. We don't trust anything that comes from you. So for our safety, the question is there anything or somebody or like under the Poppy Act or if and another thing, resign the money research IDs arena more information arena. The personal details arena. And come quality and come. Are you here to help us or this is a political strategy or campaign? Yeah. Questioning the community. Again, CPF. The purpose of CPF. Le di duties tsa bona ke eng because of rena re ba bona ba gata go dikolong ba ya le go mmolong kwala wa bona and lo tsa go dikolong di na le insurance e le re insure ke government di shopping center di na le tšhelete ka hirang di private security mara rena re ba bona go teng ba fetsa gore ba gata mo community policing forum batho ba gata go dikolong e no ba bitsang school policing forum once a se community policing forum there's no community go sekolong schools, the community is going to le bana ba la ha ba tsoga mo le ba teacher ba ya kontle back to the community. Another thing happen. Ne re kopelo itse hore is it lawful ka molao hore vene ya mapolisa ya escort di private company courier vehicles sa tsona le bodi take a lot na because of re shota di van ba di van di a shota mara skhala ya feta escort ile take a lot escort di van ya di phone so na re reng ho le bjao ke kopoletse mmereko wa di-crime wardens gore mmereko wa bona ke eng and office ya bona e ko kae because of mapolisa a re senyetsa mo gae ra itse re ba report-a ko IP mara ma-warden a shia ba re senyetsa ba betha bana go dikolong mama boletse there are many cases ba re senyetsa batho ba nna mo dikhoneng mo ga ba nna mo dikhoneng ba nnela di-tiktok ba nnela lo tse snacks mo they are not doing anything gona ba no ra bolela ba tsheha mo go na le ntho tsheisa mo a no ntho tsheisa mo.
Lastly, lastly, no. You are not going to do that. You are not. Wait.
Can I finish?
It's fine.
Sir, can I finish?
It's fine.
Can I finish?
Relax.
Okay.
We are in a meeting. Relax.
Yeah, wow.
So if we are not going to listen to each other. So relax. Mamela. We have started very well. Let's not be disorderly. Rumameti, they appreciated you, they said you are a hero. But it doesn't mean that you must take over the meeting. We said everybody has been doing 3 minutes, so please make your last point and have a seat.
Okay.
You have made your point.
Last point ya ka gore re lera re nyo itse batho ha ba re senyetsa so. Re attendile di case ba bethile bana mo dikolong ba hlokometsa bana re ba reporta ko kae and hape mere go bona ke because ba ira lo tse tsotlhe o le wa re ba sa tsena go ra di office go di police station ba certify go di police station a shwele go to plaza ba certify ba nna le ma CPF mole go tsena mo di road block ba nyaka di license tsa batho ba ira e le re mere go bona ke eng ba sa bona ke mang office ya bone go ka e reportiwa go kae
We'll respond to that. Thank you.
Yeah,
So it's the last point.
Yeah, nerkopela CPF next time heta mo community nya rona. Before ka to join go se re senyetsa. Ba ba ikile point re ma patrola rena a thusa go community mara ha join CPF. Skirile ka ba sa tlo thusa. CPF ba rua go dikolong. Nerkopela ra bata before they can talk to us. Ba re fe constitution re tso re dikentsha gora eng. Ba sa ta fela to our communities. We can do things for ourselves. And
and khale mane di station commander tsa lena ba sa re thiba di-passage kwa le re thusa batho ba romela batho ga dithunya batho re lata.
Thank you. So, Arimamelaneng Hore, as much as we are passionate about what we are talking about, but we shouldn't disrespect each other. You know, let's not disrespect each other. Let's not undermine each other. Because if we do that, it means what we are talking about here now is useless. That's why criminals are going to take over. Because even when we are trying to have an objective discussion, we undermine each other. Let's not do that. 3 minutes is the rule, it's standard. You can follow. Yes, 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 yes.
And when na ke nyako raise important ne ke di brigadier tsa rena tse di tshwereng di station ra bona hona ba no ba di change all right hat ba change ma opane ba change ama skrala ba change all in all but maphodisa le morena na ke nna juguleng ko lo re ke go rough ko ba e balang ba e bala go bojube ke ba re o ka se te juguleng banyana ba rena ba tsha go ba jola ka lebakela hore ba rona juguleng ntongwe lo re nkenya go iraitsetsa mo maphodiseng especially mo maphodiseng ke hore re khopela hore if we can or read the protocol e ba berekisang go hore ka one ba change di station command re khopela le maphodisa la mo retard ba change ba ise go di station tse di ba tlise ba tlise mo rena ba tlose go mafikeng ba tlise kang ba tlose kang ba ise ka ntlheng gore molao khono wa ta because of batho ba mo rena le rena ra ba itse wa bona ka boshiutlo palla go ntshwara because of ke brayaka la ya understand ntho braka tlo palla go ntshwara ka none ke khopela gore di brigadier tsa rena because of ba di changes no khopela gore ba change le maphodisa rena gore re khone o nna le di way forward a lebo.
Number 12.
Dumelang baholo, o bolelang ke di bone Masuku from Ward 34. I'm a brigade ya GBV. Wa bona hele police station ya Soshanguve transfer ga o tlo lale. Ho tsena fru hona le case. Hona le botlolo shilila thapa we mo bomme ba le tsetsi cucumber ba le tsetseng ho tsena ba tsena ba perala di cucumber ba busy. The captain she didn't amela go church office. Nna ha ke sa bula case go church office. Ke bula ko officing ya station commander. Because ho tsena mola nna ibla ne ke tlhella ba ra shiba ba faith. Ba tlo re lapisa. Hona le di case last hona le other lady ka mo di age. Motho ha nna metha boshiu. Am phonela. Ka monyakela transport ya police station. He tshwantse ba thuse mmela ka June ba botsa mmelo re wena o ka tshwarisa monna mariga. Mbeola asibuli case. Abo wa the following morning ka tsamale ena case ya rena re butsi ko station command ke khopela le re releng GBV desk ko police station because batho he ba tsana mola ba ba fatitude motho a sa khone bula case a sa khone re se le o bala ko morao ene ntate Masuku ke bera go feta maphodisa ne ke tsama ka maoto ke bera ka go feta maphodisa ke motho tshwarisitse o ba mmethile ka Friday ka Monday o bona motho la mmethile go ntle Heri ya kwa nya ka case number na kwa ngo dokete ngwa short bara mamang muluko mwile ba ke hule di lifi o tla wa kala bone o tla bara e tshwere ke kana ko ba wira so ho se o chekele o go botsa faith o ka re o phone la faith o le ka mo police station ke mo ga ba emel ke topa bana ka weekend na ke enjoy ke groove ke bera ka community ke topa bana ke motse ke 5 o'clock ngwana o le betso go ha bo ke kae ke a police station ono go ke tlomisa ngira ke mitse he ke fitla kwa papa go nna di la seng ke botsa modimo Jehova ke modimo ngwana ke tsama go re ba lena go ke nna ka bshu ke tla bua hape ke khopela le boleng ka o dlolale ba tsamaye bana le stress ke sa ba bangwe go berekege.
Thank you. Number 13. Number 13. Number 13.
Dumelang batswadi. Ke tlo nna o mokhutswane. Di speaker tso tsotlhe le di comment tse di bileng teng ke a utlwa ho blame wa maphodisa. Brigades well done. Patrollers well done. La bereka. Maphodisa gona blame wang ke nahana hore che mo a se ke ra tseya dilo ka pelo a ke re phoso e dira ke motho e bile wa ilukisa. Nna ke nahana hore ke bona mafapha a teng kware ke a mantsinyana ke community ke CPF patrollers ke di warden and in the brigades hora hore he re tloa mo guys let's work together cause ho lwa ho ka se re thuse ka sepe and then maphodisa ba yo itukisa engwe hape ke utlwileng ke he batho ba tlapa matsoho when he ba bolela ka tjotjo e ratang ke maphodisa. What I can say ke hore ba tsene ya ba maphodisa ba sa rate tjotjo re ka nna ra tlapa matsoho ba kra situation maybe ba joina ba change le wena o tlapa letsoho they can hire you only brigades o bereka ka mkhombe a berekang wa adopta mokgwa ka busura tlapa matsoho for wena ba re o rata tjotjo. Ya bobedi batswadi ne ke re mo tabeng ya ho tshwarisa ya di case le rena re se ka nna re tshwarisitse and then a re bone hore e fella ko kae or motho o tswile a re reng di follow up ka ho tshwarisa ha rona re ba saleng ka morago re itse di case tsa rena di tlela ko kae. Ya bofello ke hore che taba ya age restriction a re bereke ho hiriwa up to 35 years bana ba ba nyaka dijo mo rena re khopela hore government e nahane ka mkhomo ka age restriction ka leboha. Oh, sorry, I can introduce again na Mary Muloto from Ward 76 Kotemba. Kalebo.
Dumelang. Ke Amos Matlango from Block AA Soshangu. Saka ke potata ba ka ke ntwan. Rena ke le patrola la di AA. Further potata ba ka ke ntwa one. Arna police station a read heart and neke kopa hore police station because e haufi le di AA e bereke le di AA bar police station ka hore hona ya no police station a hore reporta case kwa bar e ya transfer police station a di AA ke transfer and then mpoto the AA is about 500 meters from Soshanguve station Soshanguve station police station and then read heart yeah 500 meters from Rithat. But Soshanguve police station is about, I'm sure, 4 to 5 kilometers. So, how will I case na hana? Twanzoro nyaka cheleta takes. What motoha wola iwa mole? O twanzoro o shiano nya wadi manele cheleta takes. Wabona uka ahutus. Neke kopa hor Rithat police station eba rekele di AA. Kefet sa kelmo.
Dumelang bagolo o bua mo ke Phopho More from Garangua. I'm going to be short. I only have a few points here. Ne re kopa HOD good lo bolela hore nako engwe tšhelete ina lo sala ne re kopela change e o itlise mo community ra e tlhoka. You have only CPF and then mapanyaza who are registered and then only patrol ya kasi it's not supported by anyone. So ne re kopela please o recognize patrol ya batho ba mokasi ditocho re kopa o re thuse. Thank you for that. And then next one Mama Faith re kopela mapanyaza a report ana noshi ko officing ya bona please subs e ba ruta cold drink. There's an incident mo ke boning mapanyaza a eme ka mo morao ha vene e marked ya maphodisa ya sepsi and then sepsi le mo pedi sepsi it's ya cold drink mapanyaza a lebelletse. So I didn't want to because I understand rasokola re batho ba bantu ne ke sa batlo tsentsha bana ba borena mo mathateng because ba setse di boso tsa bona morago. So please if o ka ba thusa ba reporta sa mo tla bo bereki now le bolela ka township security what now dikolo di yokwala gona depends down go Garangua there are gangs and we are assisted by patrols telling hore they are private re khopela hore le increasing our wardens or SEPs presence during that time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dumelang.
No, we didn't recognize you.
Sorry?
We didn't recognize you.
Oh, sorry.
The last person o tlo buang ke abuti mo.
But I'm number 13.
No, you are number 15 ha ke bala no.
Is it?
Eh.
Oh, Google number, okay.
Okay. Do you still want to talk? Ke tla o fa chance le wena ne. Whilst we are preparing the responses, so the SAPS will be the first ones to respond, then the department will come in, they will decide on how they respond to some of the issues. But main issues are issues relating to patrollers. You can start, ma'am.
Dumelang kaofela le di-chairperson tsa rona mo tafoleng. E le nna Albert Baloyi, ke tswa ko Hot 25. So ke le patrola, ke la le bona mapatrola. Re bereka boima, re ne le bopelo tlhomoge le setšhaba sa rena ka mokgwa le gore re berekisana le rena ka teng, le ona maphodisa le gore ba teng ga ba teng. Be ke kgopela gore a re na ditotšhi, and a re gole, and a re na uniform. Ditlhako di a fela. A re na selo se re ka kgonang gore se ka re benefit. So be re kgopela government e ire gore e re latlhelele something. Kgwedi e fela rente ya re nyaka. A re na tšhelete ya go patela di-rente re le mo. Re thusa ke yona community e re ikgadileng. So be re kgopela gore government, please, tšhelete ba re ra e kry-a rena ma CPF. A e tsweng batho ba Modimo. Chairperson a e tswe tšhelete wa Assembly. Ke a e kgopela le thuse batho ba. And ba thusa hape-hape le lena hape-hape Chairperson. Assembly Chairperson ke senya ile ka mokgwa o Chairperson.
Thank you. You can be the last one.
Thank you, Chairperson. Lebitso la ka ke Mashilo wa Khwahla. Ke nna mo di-BB. Ana Ward 33. I keep to make this thing very, 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 very sensitive concerning Tabayama Patrola. I know someone, I get the P, what the P mo, but then what the P. Kimo ga mola barki sambia la kana barki Zintos ne. Apparently, ning grilegi local geltala somebody. Some 3 patrollers were shot and killed. Now, my question is now, in case of like this, as you as a government, what is it that you are doing? Or do you even have the information for such case in Gilead? There was a point I remember, Premier Salim Panyazali Sufi. When I go Jugule inequality. Apollo ya wela bana, and then government ya or something. So in this case, the patrollers, how are we protected? How are we protected? Because of Kesho, maybe case and this case amato. Just imagine 3 people shoot and killed on the same spot. But I'm not there. This thing is sensitive. My question based on the report that HOD has presented. I, for one, I felt I was underestimated or maybe insulted. In forums like this, when you present on a television like this, I mean, we couldn't capture. All the unfortunate will capture, we will fortunate, but some of us, it's very, very fast. You are very fast, and then we can't capture a lot of things. But there's one thing, Elorigi captured and I was interested in. And then I want to ask a question on this thing. The Mapanyazas. Where do you allocate the budget? Yamapanyas. Budget Yamapanyas. I saw there you are paying them almost level 5. If I'm not mistaken, level 1 constable police station. Okay. Where do you get the budget? The Panyazas. And then how do you distribute it? Because of
one thing is surprising. Firstly, you give them something when they go for training. How about chase a training, then you give them something? And I'm afraid it's what Chairperson can fit.
Thank you.
I'm
no,
afraid.
No. Pella, now you are taking more than 3 minutes.
My last point.
You are taking more than 3 minutes.
Chairperson, when you are responding as them, please, as much as budget mapanyaza ituile, let them patrol budget everything. You couple let's carry budget. There is money and thank you.
Okay. All right. We are going to provide responses. Some of the responses might not be complete today. They might need us to have further engagement with the police maybe and with the department. And we can then maybe have another session where we can give proper feedback on the questions that we have raised. The main issues that we have raised are issues relating to the patrollers, the recognition and the formalization and the payment and the covering and compensation of patrollers. And you also even indicated that they should be appreciated. That's one of the important matter that we have raised today. The second one, we have also highlighted the issue relating to the levels of crime in Soshanguve, to the levels of crime, and that the police are not pretty much responsive to that crime. You also spoke about that the police banally problem here, the resources, particularly the van. And you also spoke about the police stations that are far away from where you are or where the crime is. And that's what the points that we have raised. And you also raised the issue of bribes. Maponisa banka cold drinki and banka jojo. And you made suggestions about body cams, which is something that has been looked at and has been discussed before in the SAPS. It's something that I'm sure it's in the pipeline. And we also raised the issue of gender-based violence and the response and how the police stations respond to the gender-based violence, which is a big issue. So these are the main issues that I've captured, but I think the department will respond, the police will respond, and then if there are other issues that will still have to come back to report back in specific stakeholders, we will actually do that. But it's an important engagement. Really, mates, your concerns that you have raised are the same concerns that we have, particularly about crime and in this area, Yaso Shanguve, Winterfeld, and Hammanskraal. And I'm not sure that Zadla or yourself, you want to start?
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you very much. Chairperson, thank you very much. Irregular has Chaba Kadi points that were raised, particularly looking at Spodisa. The issue that was raised, their crime. There was an issue, Chairperson, when you opened, you talked about the killing of a child, Konzak. That issue, we're still looking at it because there are DNAs that were taken and they were taken for analysis. We do talk to the parents, but the victim. So the progress, if you are born, as or everybody progress, of course, for the sake, we need to look at the integrity and protect the information. Of course, the issue of the CPW, it's a new baby. We're working together. The community safety, but the battle respond Albona, but we're working together so that we can be able to assist each other. Lebona reba train, then reba monitor. For a issue related to the high crime, more especially R80. And the issue relating to the online, Kerato Lebo Horley raises this issue. It's a problem. R80, we made end rules because Ritomile Rabale project go R80. We arrested about 14 Yadi suspects, of which 3 were convicted. But it started again. We started about 3 months ago to relaunch the project. And I think Ntato Mungu responded or Obone Maphodisa at that side. They are there. We, at the moment, arrested 11 Yadi suspects, it's R8, of which 18 Yadi cases, this Sansene Reza identification parade. So, Reto Linka, but we're going to continue the project there up until we clear that area. We also requested to write the letter to the provincial government for the lighting, R80. So I think that is suggestions that we're making to cap the crime, R80. Issue as Kanai or online, but Bamudim is a problem. And we've talked to TV, we issued media statements. For when people come to Winterfeld, Batloreka, the Koloi, Batloreka, the ice cream machines, please, 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 as a community, assist us, or they must stop it. It's a dangerous area. We're making on routes, we've got the community assisting us. We encourage also the community to assist us. Currently, we've got 87 Yadi suspects that are caught going cases, Yadi Skanai. Some of them is 8-member staff family that were arrested 2 weeks ago. So we're requesting the community to assist us in this point also. The issue corruption, we don't support corruption as the police. But please assist us that you identify those people. I will give you the numbers. These numbers include also my number. That when you see this corruption, without even giving your name, give those people to us, then specifically we'll deal with those corrupt police officers. It happens that the police, but visit, of course, the scrapyard because it is their responsibility to visit those scrapyards. But we are not saying they must go there and do corruption. The issue at the Koloi, we'll be looking at it that there must be police visibility, especially when we look to this festive season. We've already started as a district. We've seen the operations relating to Shanyela. We'll be bringing those operations morely to Jukulane, Soshanguve area. We'll be leading those operations integrated, of course, all our role players. The numbers take a function. Yaka, le reporter crime, mo le di Quebec, le maphodisa, 082 416 37 082 416 3701 082 416 3701 ke tla le utlwella tse ding a shidi 082 414 5211 082 414 5211 engwashi ya go Rita Jukulane 082 856 1143 082 856 1143 but hele ya go di police station ra khopela hele tsena go police station ho na le di number tsa station commander le di visible commanders le ngwale di number tseo for in case somebody or maphodisa a palla go luthusa you go there you phone the station commander so that we can be able to be assisted. But we'll continue. Recheck the challenges it's already raising, and of course we'll work through them so that we can cap the crime.
Thank you. MEC, you can decide.
Thank you very much, Chairperson and the Portfolio Committee. Ki dumedise kaofela ba leng teng tsatsing lena la kasheko ki dumedise di member tsa legislature amngana sasa grand lab sharp Ki dumedise Brigadier Tine and Brigadier ba. Udladla. Yes, udladla wakuphi manje. Bayashintsha lamaphoyisa. Uthine kuphele bangamshintshi. And futhi mina uthine ngangicabanga ukuthi ibhunu. I only realized later ukuthi umuntu omnyama. Sanibonani PCO ba uyini uhlobene nawo. Nawo ulokuthi ibhunu. Angithi mina ngibona lesibongo lesesithi Thine. Relebohe mnyetla re relebohe opportunity ki dumedise mphakathi kaofela dumelang. Le kae? Hola mphakathi hola. Phansi ngobugebengu phansi. Mababoshwa ba igebengu masiboshwe. Mababoshwa ma rapist maboshwe. Kiqadile ka ngokuxolisa ukuthi ngijoine meeting so phakathi neribiditse mbizo ya di security company kaofela tsa mona mo Gauteng hobane re botlokotsebe bunkasibi bo bongata hakana, and yet we've got many security companies tse leng teng mona mo Gauteng. Ke tsholo Juguleini e teng security company. Hore etsang ha e bona bokebekwa e sheba kwa o nka ra e bona hore o etsahala. So ke ka ho ne re ba biditse kaofela re ke bone zondi patrol ke re zondi wena hobaneng o sa tla mbizong ya premier. Arai ke bone mara ke nana e sa tla ke ruta hore ha o ba le zondi hobane ne re lebiditse ka la bobedi ka sheku ineli follow up hobane re as government, we also want to partner with yourselves as the security companies. Hobani Brigadier Tine, mo database nya hae. Tshwantse a tsebe hore ke tse feng di security companies tse sebetsang ko Soshanguve. Ke tse feng di security companies tse sebetsang Winterfeld. Ke tse feng di security companies tse berekang ko Garankuwa. A tsebe hore I've got men and women who can respond faster and quicker through the partnership we have with the security companies. We can't be living like this in Gauteng. Se re tshaba le go yo jola bosiu hobane ditsotsi they are just hlumeza lana estrati. Asisa joli. Asisa chekwa. Ngoba igebengu zimilela zizokuthatha telephone sekushoda nabangantshontsha nawe nechere yakho neboyfriend yakho. Abahamba ngeemoto sebesaba nokuzosicheka. Ene thina bosisi asimfuna uJohnny Walker, sifuna uMinister of Transport. Manje kunzima ukuthi simthole uMinister of Transport ngoba igebengu zibathathela imoto. Ngikhuluma iqiniso ngithi umisa Johnny Walker. Now igebengu aribueng nithi. They live amongst us. Hasiyo sikebekwa setlohang lehodimong sitheohe sitle mo. Dikebekwa lidula le tsona. Abanye benu niziqomile le igebengu nihlala nazo la endlini. Nakaphuma yophanda awumbuza ukuthi boyophandaphi. Uyacelebrate uthi out yami yaphanda. Abanye thina bomama re a tsamaya re lo ropa basadi bagolo re bankela le madi a bona ha ba le ko di molong re ba thusa enka ra ba thusa mo ATM hanti re ba tlotse ba tsela tšhelete. Ene yaanong a new trend se o kidnapiwa batho ba tlisiwe hona mona mo Soshanguve ba kwallwe mo ntlong ba kene mo appong mo di founung tsa bona ba transfer tšhelete. Renaldi cases tse ngata from Kobo Johannesburg. Batho ba kidnapiwa ba tlo tshwariwa mona mo Soshanguve. Now question is, nasilibele sithi know your neighbor. Kanti suke sikhuluma ngani? Why ungazi ukuthi lo makhelwane wakho lo usebenzana? Lo usebenzana? Uphila ngani? Hutwa una le bo ausi ba i3 ba di dudla mona mo Soshanguve. Ke bona ba ba tsamang ba kidnapa batho. Baba kwalla mo ntlong mona mo Soshanguve ba ba tsiela tšhelete ba banke ba ba ise ATM ba ntshe tjhelete ha ba bona tjhelete se e fedile ba mo nka ba mo lahlela maraba start ba mo fa 100 rand gore a namela tsamaya hona mo Soshanguve twa ba sidudla bosisi bakhona askisi na usidudla ke akusuwo now ba bang ba rona re hidiseditse matswa kantle dijareteng tsa rona o thabela hore every month o patala rente hore nka kae tjhelete ya o patala rente ha o butse potso ba bang ba iketseng ka re ba rekisa mandongo mane madopisi le makipkip you can't survive and pay a rent ka matokomane le ka makipkip ho tswa hore ho na le e nngwe hape ya e rekisang e tsang hore a bane le tjhelete ya o patala rente ya hao and then re makatsa ha dikebekwa di re terrorizer mo locationing is because re dutse le batho ba re sa ba tsebeng hona mona mo locationing ene hobane wena o thabela tjhelete ya rent ba bang le rente satsa le bano ba ba rekisetsang bana ba runa dijo tse di bodileng bana ba kula ba hlokofala and ha ba emphakathi ururi wa kenela o re ehlukana labantu baphatala irent la kwami akunjalo mphikiseni nithi unamanga MEC khuluma iqiniso angithi ke batla tla mo tabeng ya di CPF since ntse ke mametse CPF patrol ibile ke botsa chairperson mo le khanti mkhwaluna ha le register ma patrola na you don't share information le ma patrola gore if you are properly registered with us we cover you medically ha o lemala ha o hlokafetse re a o pata ebe re siele family ya hao tjhelete hobane you died on duty ngiyambuza ubaba ngithi kanti umthetho wakhona zikhiphani la bonke abantu abacomplainayo amapatrola uCPF baba hela hawulili patrola please register at your nearest CPF they will take your fingerprints and create the file tsa lona we must know who is patrolling our township hoba le dikebekwa di tla patrola hanti di batla re tshwara poo so nyacela somplief Soshanguve CPF Luate Mabupane Ritkhati ling hape ling haufi Dube so mphakathi nani mapatrola we appreciate the work that you are doing now registerile sizokunikeza i-reflector jacket sizokunikeza i-pepper spray sizokunikeza ngisho nempempe into engeke sikunike yona isibhamu ngoba awuna license and futhi sifuna ukuyiqeda ibhamu that is why ngeke sikunike isibhamu patrolani mhlawumbe ritlalifa di donkey pir so that then nihambe easy but what you must know and do as communities banu ba hiriseditseng batho mo dijareteng have a yard committee o tsebe hore ho dula mang mo jareteng ya hao o bo motsele hore di ka di documents tsa hao tlohelang o dula le makotswa ka ntle a leng undocumented in your yards we must start naming and shaming now re re wena o dula le batho ba tswang ka ntle they are not documented because motho isn't documented we don't have their fingerprints here in South Africa ke ka ho ba etsang bostoutu ba sa tholahale now all patrollers register under your CPF ebe o tshole hore re patrola ko kae CPF patrol commander must know all of you and be able to even issue you with reflector jackets and all other things that we issue. Yaka riako festive season. We usually also give stipend to the patroller chairperson. Hobane highly festive season, bukebekwa bubungata hahulu. So if you are registered, then the CPF knows you. How about deploy abarwena, uberaka molong, kapa wena, upatrola juguleni, kapa wena, upatrola yipezingindawo zenu ezidumile lezi. Then most of these people get their stipend. Rinsa chelete runa really department, really patale, really stipend kise. But we only pay you if you are registered with us. How we fly by night? Never routes ibe. Uzoloku kala stipend. Can't we fly by night? Register properly. You must not have a criminal record. You must not have other things serisa ditsibing. Teti wonkwena fail. Angit. Now, enye ngizwe kuthiwa abanye benu nina mawarden senthatha intshontsho. So nikhaba ninye mina. Uqoshe emsebenzini. Nithathe nje intshontsho, nilingise laba bakathine laba. Laba bajwayele kuyaziwa namaveni abo amakuphi. Niwenze nje lo mkhuba, ngilihalimela ngasizulu. Niwenze nje lo mkhuba. Nizongazi. You will drink to know me. Nizongiphuza ningazi. Uzowukhomba lo msebenzi. Baningi bebefuna ungena la. Wena uthole ithuba lokungena emsebenzini. Don't play with that opportunity. Don't do it.
MEC.
Don't take bribe. Don't even abuse your family members.
MEC.
Abanye benu send abuse nama family wenu.
Can you try and sum up?
In conclusion.
Yes, thank you.
Masibonge chairperson, at least ngiclarify le yama CPF. Nalabo injury on duty, nanokuthi, labo abafuna ukunceda ukulwisa ubugebengu, mabaqhubeke. And each and every police station, wena a GBV brigade, you are embarrassing me. It has got a GBV desk. Now ngena a police station. Now figure counting. Ngale ngaseceleni i-GBV desk ikhona. So ngicela wena ungene police station awuzo reporta i-abuse. Ungabheki amaphoyisa emehlweni ubabheka ukuthi banamazinyo agold. Bheka la emadeskini ukuthi i-GBV desk imephi. Bese uthatha i-case ye-GBV uyoyireportisa elapho. Kukonke, as the Gauteng Provincial Government chairperson, we are rolling out ama e-panic button. Ngena ku Google, laba banama Google ntontoni, and load isibizwa ukuthi IER, Integrated Emergency Response, IER. Loaded that panic button. Ngaleyo panic button, uyakwazi ukubiza amaphoyisa, uyakwazi ukubiza security, uyakwazi ukuwabiza nawo lamapanyaza. Nama security company that will be closer to you. That is the I, as in I, I ngathini, in, and then E, wa emergency, wa A, and then R, wa Rabi Rich. If you get into your Google and look for that panic, it will pop up. You register there, and then utabe unali panic button. Ha ubatlo bitsa mapolisa kapa ubatlo bitsa mang kapa mang. Mara ungabiza mapolisa ubesetse urubutsa hore mna ha ha rubala kontlung. And the futhi will also be rolling out ama CCTV cameras. Sesizonibona nani nina enihambe ebusuku singazinenzana ebusuku. And lama CCTV cameras wethu analento esibiza ukuthi i-face recognition. Kuri how bonahala mole mo CCTV camera Brigadier Tine. Re tla ba ra bona le sefahlego sa hao re ke wena. And then be able to say Brigadier Tine o batlang mole mo juguleini hanti tshwantseng ka umsebetsing. Ngenze example ngaye angisho kanjalo. So as the provincial government, we are serious about fighting crime. And the only people who can help us fight crime is yourselves. It's you who must report criminals. It's you who must not harbor criminals. And it is you who will assist us to rid our communities of domestic violence and also of all the wrong things that are happening in our community. Ngiyabonga kakhulu, nibe nosuku olumnandi.
Thank you. I'm certain that the responses are sufficient. We are still going to bring more engagements, particularly with the police. The CPF as a structure needs to be engaged in terms of registering the patrollers around here. Because seemingly there are a number of patrollers who are not registered and who are not known by the system. So we will make sure as a committee, or the CPF structure, Yamoso Shanguvi, this zone particularly, is actually functional and in the structures. I'm told that you have a new executive. Yeah. So we are going to follow that up. The second thing that we are going to follow up with the department is just the functioning and the development and the deployment of CPWs, crime prevention wardens. That will follow up on. I will give you feedback as a committee. Or they must be deployed where they are supposed to be. Where we were told and convinced, or they are going to be on the street, not in the police station, signing affidavits. They are supposed to be on the street. So that's where we expect them to be. And we are going to make sure that we also, the SAPS through the provincial commissioner, engage and raise the issues around the issues that we have raised on the policing around this area, all the police stations. So Ronali department as a committee, we work with them to make sure that the police, South African Police Service is efficient and is functional and they are doing their job. In the coming week, we are launching the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence and femicide. It is one of the critical crimes that we are facing. The problem, Kayona, it happens in the homes that you sleep in. It happens between people who normally know each other, and it happens behind closed doors. So that type of crime is difficult to police unless the community is fully aware and is conscious of what not need to happen. And when it has happened, it means our police stations must be ready to receive the victims of these crimes. And usually it's women in the main, but sometimes it can also be men. It can also be people who live or who are LGBTQI+, who have chosen a different type of sexual orientation or preference. So in the coming weeks, we're still going to be engaging more on the issues relating to crime. And we like to appreciate all the stakeholders who are here, the police who made time and gave responses and listened to your crimes, to your cries, to the department. Thank you so much, HOD, for the presentations on your performance. I'm certain that you have realized there are areas that needs improvement and areas that needs us to have an attention on. Thank you to the members of the committee who are here to withstand the heat. The heat was too much. I'm certain that there are people who are almost about to faint. Thank you to the support staff of the legislature who have made it possible. And above all, thank you, the community who are here, who have came to raise these issues. Crime is all, it is our concern, it's all our problem. Police on their own won't be able to do anything. MEC Faith Mazibuko won't be able to do anything without us. So let's unite, let's cooperate with one another, let's work together, let's fight crime. Magwenziwe sure ukuthi abotsotsi bayagijima and bayalinyazwa. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.
Please, laba abathathe ama-handset, please leave them behind. Amapanya-panya lapha emnyango, they will take them. Please don't leave with the headsets. Those things are sebenzi if they are outside this building. Leave those headsets behind.